All right, there it goes. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Had a little bit of problem on here, but you know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntax Live. I hope you guys are doing good, and I hope you guys are doing a really happy new year so far. I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, there you are. What I was trying to do was actually get the images done. For some reason, this thing is, I don't know, it's freaking out on me. It's just freaking the hell out on me, and I'm trying to get everything set up. And it seems like no matter how early I get this lined up, something always goes wrong. But we're here now. At least I got one up and running. And as you can see behind me, we had, I got sent to me a green screen, and it is now up and going. However, the room I'm in is not large enough for this absolutely gigantic piece of equipment. What you see behind me is only half of it, actually. The damn thing is 13 feet long by 8 feet high. And actually, when I started, I had a green sweatshirt on, so I was looking all sorts of nyah. Okay, still have to do some adjustments, but it is what it is. I got my notes with me. I got my good people with me. So let's start up.
Reactor online, sensors online, weapons online, all systems nominal.
I spent most of the day actually getting things set up on my soundboard here because I had to remove a whole bunch of stuff and add a few things you guys wanted. However, the only Drill Sergeant Night 1 or Drill Sergeant 1 I have is, well, what I have. Anyways, crap, I'm falling down here. And before I go, we got a $5 super chat from Douglas Scarborough. How you doing, Doug? I hope you're doing well. He says, maybe do a semi-story of misfits like the Black Sheep Squadron. Okay, well, hold on. Let me, you really got ahead of me on that one. So let me, on ideas here. Black Sheep Squadron. Duran. All right. And let me get the rest of you down so I don't lose you here. See, the thing is, we got two different Douglas who do in, so I got to make sure I get your last name as well, and don't have to write the whole thing, but I got to get close. Anyways, for right now, also, since it is the new year, we're going to have ourselves a little drink on this. All right. First things first, thank you, everybody, for being here. So the welcome drink is on that. But since we got a super chat, I'm going to do basically half shots because last time I couldn't stand afterwards. Thanks to you guys. Thank you very much. And thank you. This is to you, Douglas. Thank you very much. That stuff tastes like it's going to hurt you. It never really does. Wow. Okay. But I got my little chaser here. So we're going to... Okay, and we got another one in there. Flood-like story like Halo. Flood like Halo. Got it. All right. I keep putting my notes away. It's kind of messed me up because I'm so used to having the camera over that direction and everything's kind of screwy right now. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah. All right. As I said, go over New Year's Eve. Thank you for everybody being here. And we went over the green screen. Also, God, my own penmanship is horrible. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, had your eggnog with the actual rum. I personally like the eggnog, homemade eggnog. I love it. I will guzzle that stuff. Even without the rum, I will drink it. So, yeah. But with the rum, even better. And like they said on 2.5 Men, you want them slightly glowing or set on fire. Well, it's a time of good cheer or good times towards all folks. So let's get them plowed. Okay. Okay, first, I'm going to jump right into this, guys, because during the week, we had No Power, No Problem, which was the complete series that came up. The only thing I can say on this one is it really helped the analytics. I know some of you have actually gone through this one already, but it's the first time I put everything out in all the parts lined up one right after another. And hey, everybody's saying that they enjoyed it, even if they didn't or if they had heard it the first time, it's nice to hear it over again. So thank you for all you who, even if you just set it to listen and just let your phone go or whatever, I appreciate it very much because my analytics are hurting something fierce. If you guys seen the, the subscriber count slowly trickling down over time, fun stuff. Okay. Since there wasn't much on that one, I'm going to scoot out of that. Now this one dropped on Christmas. Today we're all brothers. And the reason why it said click on the links below, they're not in the links below right now. But in that story, there was, if you notice, it was a double. There was two separate types of stories. In the links below, if you haven't heard it before, there is Sabaton's The Christmas Truce, which is what was the first part of the inspiration for this. However, I didn't want to hit it too hard on the nose. Oh.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something is right because we have Erica. How do you pronounce that name again? Oh, yeah. And she is here saying, may all y'all have a year filled with health, wealth, joy, peace, and love of true friends and family. Good store bought eggnog. Uberwise. Uberwise, is that what it is? And before I forget, I got to give the customary thank you shot here, or, well, half shot, really, because I don't have much of this left. You can tell we've kind of been going on it. And thank you again, Erica. Oh, got to chase that one. That burns. All right. The reason I didn't want to actually mix the bourbon with the root beer is not for taste. I want you guys to know I'm actually having liquor this time. It's not scotch this time, so I'm not going to be just about ready to fall over and puke. All right. Let's see. Again, with the links below on that one, again, if you guys haven't seen either the Sabaton or what's known as A Soldier's Silent Night, be ready. That one's going to grab you by the heart, twist as it kicks you in the balls. In a good way. So let's just leave it at that one. Let me get off of that. The next one that came up was Something Familiar, part 17. Now, this one, I got a lot of people questioning why I did this one the way I did. Okay? Without doing complete spoiler alerts, I need you to understand something. When it comes to the resonance, also known as magic, you also have the rules of nature. Rules of nature are the same in this world as they are in ours. That being said, you can go against nature, but there's going to be a repercussion. Now, I'm going to go a lot into that on the next chapter, which I've just started writing. But like I said today was just to unfuck a lot of my computer shit that's going on. And I unfortunately will not have anything coming out tonight. Sorry, guys. It is what it is. And you guys know that these take a long time to write. I will let you know there is going to be a bit of a twist here. I don't know if you guys have seen it coming. However, it's going to be there. Trust me, it's going to be there. And you're just going to be like, oh, yes, it's going to get quite interesting. And, well, again, I don't want to ruin anything. No worry about spoilers, Guardian. I hope everyone's caught up. I really do. Not just for the channel, but again, I don't like doing spoilers just because I don't like doing spoilers. And for anybody who is wondering why it was so weird, no, I haven't been reading or looking up any weird shit. I was looking for something that was twisted, and this kind of just came to mind, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to work with this because it was meant to be weird for a reason. When you're mixing in magic with the rules of nature, things get a little, oh yeah, how's it go? And you're sitting there going, that is so fucked up. Yeah. And then again, in this village, you're thinking, it's a trap. So yeah. Although I guarantee, just because of one, they did one of these.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Yeah. Not kidding at all. All right. Again, not too much on something familiar. So again, I'm just gonna be going through just again, fair warning, it takes with my current schedule, it takes about a week to write these. So yeah, and I literally have to tell everybody to fuck off so I can do it. And I'm sure you guys are the same way. A bunch of you write as well. Actually, a certain someone, a certain I don't have a button for you yet. God damn it, Demon. Will you send me something? I want to have something for you, but I've got the one who sent me this green screen. I got Brian's here. I got Guards here. I got Sir, but we haven't seen him in a while. I got for V, I got to keep him here in case he's here because I can't pronounce his fucking name or what his handle is. And you guys heard Gem, and I got one specifically for in case our wonderful Corman actually shows up tonight to see if he's got there. So we'll see how it is. All right. Sorry, I'm reading on the side for a sec. So just fair warning, again, it's going to take a while to get to these, and it's going to be a little weird, but it's going to be exposition heavy. I'm just going to say that, very expedition heavy. So that's another one when it comes down to writing everything, who's saying what and where everybody's standing. Those you guys know, because most every one of you is a writer, that takes a long time. Believe it or not, one of the hardest books to write was 12 Angry Men, because it took a long time. The guy said he had to go back and forth, having to change his mindset to be in the mindset of everybody there. So it is what it is. Okay, before we get on to let's make a deal, I'm going to throw up one of these many, many, many videos that I received and try to get some more images set up.
The reactor's almost critical. Hold your ground.
Okay, hopefully you guys can see something besides what I'm seeing, because this thing is being a total pain in my ass. I'm actually trying to get the other pictures up, and it's not working. It's just not working at all. I don't know why, but StreamYards decided to be a pain in my nutsack. Literally kicking me there. So let's make a deal. Has not been doing all that well. It's still got a few more chapters to go, but this series is not looking like it's going to be going all that long. It is what it is, folks. It is a requested series. I will take requests. Like you guys have already thrown a couple up in there. By the way, War Sniper, I'm still waiting for your little, whatever you're going to send me, the little bonus of the Dragon's Home. Even if it's just Cliff's Notes, just keep it simple so I can work with it, because it's going to have to integrate with everything else. But that's going to be fairly soon. It's like maybe 2 or 3 chapters away. Holy flying monkey nuts. What do I got for Demon? I don't know. I look around and all I can ask is,
how many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
And whatever, but I'm sitting there going,
holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
That is Demon with a $50 super chat. You awesome motherfucker. I wish I had another button for you, but I really don't have anything else. I only have so many buttons on the Stream Deck that I might have to get a second one. And he says, Happy New Year. This will be my last for a while. I'm happy to be here. I emailed you a question, still waiting for an answer. Once you finish what I'm working on for Fleet Part 2, I'll send it to you. I'm drinking 117. Okay, now I wish I hadn't pulled the friggin' Master Chief off of this thing. 117 proof. Why whiskey tonight? I'll try to find something soon. I saw your email, Demon. I just haven't got to it. So if you ask me any questions on that, I'm sorry I haven't got to it. And I will get to it as soon as I can, you awesome motherfucker. And God, I mean,
God damn it!
I really wish I had a button for you, Demon, but yeah, I think you were the one who said you want something with the drill sergeant, and the only one I got was, and I've already played it before, was the Holy Jesus one, which, by the way, was supposed to be what was behind me, but the way this is the setup, it's all sorts of funky. Anyway, thank you again, Demon. Thank you. And, you're going to get a full shot tonight. Even if I run out of whiskey, you're going to get a full shot. Here you go. And going. Right up to the top. All right. Thank you, Demon. Oh. I think you guys love watching me in pain. Then again, pain always looks good on other people. Wow. Okay, back to Let's Make a Deal. Apparently, I made you guys laugh with the whole harness crushing the nuts on that one. And, yeah. You know what? Now that I think about it, I might actually have something dropped in the night. I had something written. I don't know if I have it set up. Again, I've been super busy today. But yes, if you guys didn't understand what I was talking about on that, when it comes down to especially airborne, okay, this happens to everybody. When you get in that harness, that you want that son of a bitch to be snug. You want it to be snug as you're standing straight. But a lot of people get it really tight. So when you're sitting down, it feels kind of snug, which means when you stand up, that thing gets like unbelievably tight. It's actually very painful on your back, like very, very hard on your back. That being said, it's better to be tight on your back for a couple hours than to be loose, because when it's loose, it kind of gets around the twins there. And then when you jump out, that initial shock, I know they call it that, but all that is the prop wash. And all of a sudden your chute opens and your ass is sticking the opposite direction. And that thing gets real tight all of a sudden. And if one of your boys is in the way, it's going to be shoved up saying hi to your prostate and your liver and everything else. I mean, just, it's just horrendous. It's also horrendously painful. And I've seen grown men, like 6 foot plus guys, on the ground crying like babies. And it's just, yeah, it's just horrible. So anybody who's been in any type of harness like that, you got to have that thing cinched up so that your jubblies are in another direction. Now, if Erica is here, then she doesn't have to worry about that. Or if any other of our female viewers are here, Ava, then you would know it's not so bad for you guys. It's still going to not be comfortable. So anyways, yeah, a lot of people saying, yep, I remember that sort of shit. All right. As far as the shower scene, yes, that was meant to be suggestive as fuck, and to the point of almost too stimulating, which is why he ran out of there. He didn't want to suddenly have no energy. Humans suddenly are low energy. Well, trust me, ladies, we are when that sort of thing kind of, the energy shoots across the room. Not to mention, here's the kicker. Simple human biology, and this is for guys. If you have had no type of stimulation period for approximately 30 days, anywhere from 28 to 35 days, any type of stimulation is going to click into your psyche, and within 2 days, you are going to have what's known as a nocturnal emission. It's just hardwired into our bodies. We can't shut it off. Now, the thing is, the guy didn't want to be that. He didn't want to be that guy. For what reason? You're going to find out later. Trust me. There is a big twist coming with this one. Let's see. Somebody put in the comment section how the goblins want something from the humans too. And you know what? I should have put that in. I'm going to actually put that. I'm going to put a sign in here for the soundboard. Soundboard. The one where she wants the dick. That one. I ran out of spots. I wanted the emotional damage to be put in that one too. But again, I ran out of spots, and A few of these, if I don't use them, I'll put them in there. So anyways, let's see. A lot of people got a kick out of the whole call me sir. And yes, it was a bit of a hat tip to sir. Again, we haven't seen him. I don't know if anything happened to him. I'd raise a actual like strong glass, but there's like only drops left in here. Hoping everything's going okay with him. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't have control over that. Neither does anybody else. But anyways, it's not, the character is not based around him. I just decided to use sir because I didn't want to use any specific name. I already used one for the nephew. All right, here was a question about this, and this one you guys can use for your own stuff, by the way. If you're going into other worlds, which in this series, they're literally going through magical gates that are contained by science, going to another world. When you enter another world, the nature may be the same, supposedly. However, the technology is not going to be any different, which means your batteries are still going to work. And all I can say is,
Inconceivable.
I see something else. I want to say,
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
something is right. The man who sends us all the great videos, well, most of all the great videos that we use, MTF Guard is here. He says, I did not get a message for this, so I'm 20 minutes late. I'll have to skim through it all. You're good. We're just doing the review over the past week right now, so it's not all that crazy. You know, if you haven't caught up, then don't worry about spoilers, my friend. We're not there yet. We went through one video so far, and that was it. Appreciate you here. And unfortunately, I'm out of whiskey, so cheers. I would have brought the Jack Daniels, but that bottle is huge. It's Gentleman Jack. If you guys know that one, you know the bottle is just massive. Kind of like my dick. Anyways, but yeah, the whole thing is, say magic in another world might not work in ours and vice versa. However, technology is not bound by any type of natural law there, any type of, say, frequency. It still operates. The exosuits they're wearing still operate. The bulletproof clothing that they wear still is bulletproof, although it's very painful to use, or at least if you get shot. So, and that's where it is. Now, for each of your individual stories that you do, you're going to have to decide if that's a factor or not. Now, I can think of one very long series which I have absolutely no interest in because it's like 30 some odd chapters long, is was Exosuit to Magic School or something like that. I haven't even listened to more than the first episode just because, again, I don't have the freaking time. The only time I have time to listen to any is when I'm driving. And was it Friday is when I go around and do my monthly stuff. So I'm going to try to get ahead of things. And oh, by the way, Guard, I'm sorry about that. When I said we have MTF Guard, I forgot to say
For the Emperor!
Yes, I finally found it. Or I should say I finally got a chance to download the motherfucker. I wanted Heresy, but they didn't have it. But, you know, being a 40K player like yourself, I wanted to make sure you got that shout out as well. And thank you very much. I wanted to mention this in case it is unclear in this story here, in case it's questionable why the magic stones work outside of their own area. They work, they run out. Magic stones in their own planet, dimension, whatever the hell you want to call it, will eventually refuel themselves, or they won't drain nearly as fast. But you use them anywhere else and they cannot refuel at all. They will simply deplete. And that's how that is. All right. That's it as far as those go. Now I'm going to try to do this while I'm talking, just to make sure I can actually get this up and running, because It's annoying the hell out of me that I can't get any more pictures to come up, which is bullshit because I want to get a whole bunch. Yeah, it's for some reason it doesn't want to work. You fucking piece of shit. You. Okay. I'm trying to calm down, guys. I swear I'm trying to calm down. Okay, one started to work. Okay, I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's none of these want to freaking work. It's driving me absolutely crazy. So I'm clicking through these as fast as I can while I'm talking, so I can actually have something to actually put on here. A little bit of I don't know, things that are crazy, but at least better to look at than me. All right, while we switch gears here, let's blow something up. All right, we're all set on there. Back to the comment section. At least I can see in case somebody sends another super chat. All right, on to what's going on around the world as far as pop culture, as far as TV shows and video games and movies. Not a whole lot. However, a lot of notes on the little bit that's there. First off, if you have not seen the show Primal, I believe this works well.
You realize this means war.
If you haven't seen Primal, you know that the guy's at war with everything. And the fact that he's gone zombie, and all that other fun stuff. I sat there and went, what the hell? I mean, it's still gruesome. It's still primal. It's still itself. But I'm still like, what the hell am I looking at? I don't get it. It's kind of pissing off the entire show. Or it's not pissing off, but pissing on. It's weird. I don't get it. So somebody's going to have to explain if that one's worth watching. If you guys get a chance to watch it. And for some reason, my camera keeps moving. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. That's weird. Okay. For some, I don't know if that thing's just, if it's the green screen's falling or what. It was originally filling up the entire thing, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm looking forward to Primal. I enjoyed the shit out of that show. It had a fairly decent storyline and it didn't try to be something it wasn't. I appreciate that. I don't know about you guys, but I appreciate that. All right. Now on the video game, Fable. Oh God. They decide to make it for modern audiences. And all I can say is, what the hell were they thinking? There's a huge fan backlash because everybody is just like, I don't want to play as this person. I don't like the main character. The main character design looks like shit. And a lot of people are trying to redesign into something, I don't know, nice to look at for a change instead of someone who, seriously, this is supposed to be a woman. She's got a stronger jaw than I do. I mean, that's not much of a stretch, honestly. But still, I'm like, she's like 6'4" and butch as all fuck. And this is supposed to be a dainty woman. It's no wonder you Fable you guys who play are just boycotting this shit. Just wow. And folks have used simple ChatGPT to create a better looking character. And when they post online, all the modern audiences decide to just freak the fuck out. And I'm just like, guys, let people enjoy their escapism, please. Oi. And when they showed the new character design, all I can say is, it was nice. It was very nice to look at. But why everybody was freaking the fuck out? My brain hurts. My brain hurts. My brain hurts so much. I'm going to move on to the next one because that's annoying. Why? All right. I don't know if you've seen, but the game 007, for those of you who actually enjoy the 007 series. Me personally, I can have enough of James Bond. And for some reason, our count for viewers just dropped. It makes me wonder how many we got, how many
assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
And now I see that our normal guys are with us, and well,
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
but the right type of assholes. The type of assholes I like. All right. 007, again, their new one coming out for modern audiences, and they're losing their pre-orders. Now, Guard, you and the rest of the guys that do like gaming and stuff, you're going to have to fill me in on a lot of this stuff because I don't game. I just don't have the time for it. I actually handed over my gaming laptop for a cousin of mine to finish the BattleTech game I was playing. And he lost me like a half a dozen to, I don't even know. It was more than a half a dozen, but like less than a full dozen pilots. He ended up having to scrap like another like 5 or 6 mechs because they were just fucked up. I'm like, okay, whatever. At least it's done. At least it's done. You finished the game. Anyways, as far as the 007, I looked in and the design of the characters are garbage, just straight up trash. I don't know what they're doing. I really have no idea what they're doing. Why? Wow. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to leave that one. Hold on. I gotta, I had a little tickle in my throat. I had to get a drink. Okay. Switching over, downshift. Okay, let's downshift to movies. Do I have a downshift one new? We're going to go into Avatar.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And they fucked up big. I haven't even got to see it. I like to see all the new shit that they got, all the visuals, the sound effects and stuff like that. I enjoy that shit. However, everybody says the same thing. The story is at best. And all I can say is the story's always been at best. It's a rehash of the same fucking story done so many damn times. It's crazy. And it's just, it just, whatever. I don't go into those expecting a good story. However, I will say the last one, the water one, I kept holding my breath because I kept thinking I was underwater. It was kind of funny for a while until I realized I kept holding my breath, and all of a sudden I'm just like forcing myself to breathe because I'm a scuba diver, and if you think you're underwater, you just stop breathing or else you're gonna die. And at one point I actually start reaching behind me for my extra regulator. I'm like, it's not there. I'm not wearing a tank. What the fuck? So I appreciate that. I like when they do stuff like that, the immersion, that is great. However, the story was terrible. Oh my God. If they tried to push these characters into caricatures any harder, what would you get? Avatar 3. Because that's what everybody's saying. The characters are now caricatures. There's no depth to them. They're about as deep as a puppy's piss puddle. But that's pretty much what you get when you end up watching stuff like that. So, I mean, it is what it is. So anyways, let's see. It doesn't, at least to me, it doesn't look like they've increased the visuals anymore. I would have to see it before I can make an actual opinion on that. I can only go by what other people are saying. And what other people are saying is that it's not worth the money you spent on it. The one with the water, because it was done so well, it was worth the money for the special effects. This one, not so much. And I mean, I can understand why. I mean, suddenly the other blue, 8-foot tall blue Smurfy cat guy who's apparently against the other blue Smurfy cats that live on the world, and they're suddenly he's found his piece of blue Smurfy cat pussy, no pun intended, that he's gonna scratch and claw, and apparently she's gonna scratch and claw him because I know she wants to burn him. Hopefully by the time they're done, it doesn't burn when he pees. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes and whatever. And it just, I don't know. It just doesn't just doesn't seem to work. At least to me, it's like they're grasping at straws that have already snapped off and dried, and now they're just falling back down the hill going, but it's still a good movie. I'm like, no, end up in the slit trench, you assholes. Speaking of things that end up in the shit house, since I have not seen Stranger Things, I cannot confirm this. I can only go by what the people who've reviewed it say. Apparently, Stranger Things pulled a Game of Thrones. And by that, I mean they ended up having a great show until the very last season. And apparently, the last season didn't just take a dump on the series. It friggin' ate Taco Bell, drank coffee that was full of grinds, and took a giant MRE shit all over the series. Now, from what some people are saying, okay, correct me if I'm wrong on this. However, I saw one thing where it says the male lead character or adult male lead character got impregnated by a monster or something. I'm like, what? Please tell me that was a joke. Please, anybody, just even if you got to lie to me, but don't lie to me. Tell me that was a joke, even if you have to lie to me, but don't lie to me. It's just crazy. It's just, it just gets on my nerves, something serious when they do shit like that. Now, a lot of people are saying the same thing about Stranger Things as they were about Game of Thrones. Originally, Game of Thrones had a lot of rewatch availability. But after that season, that final season where everything just literally inverted on itself, no, nobody wanted it. It's just, it was just painful. I'm like, if you know how it's going to end, and it's going to end in the final act as just giving you an anime ending where everything just kind of turns around the opposite direction, what was the motherfucking point? And all I can say is this is what happens when a studio gets involved. Leave the creative content to the creative folks like you, me, and a holy fucking shit.
Inconceivable.
I'm looking at this, and all I can say is that
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
I'm actually beyond shocked, actually, because we have a Prozac, somebody who is on Prozac and Pancakes. Let me get on the right page here with a $100 super chat. And let me write this down real quick before I get too over this. Holy shit. He says, I'm in New York City for New Year's with my brother, so I can't stay, but happy New Year's, everybody. Thank you, Chris. God damn it. I want a fucking solid drink to salute him, but I can't because I don't have anything left. And now I feel like a dumbass, but holy shit. You know what? Chris, do me a favor and send in whatever sound effect you want so I can give it to you. I mean, holy shit. Let's just hope things don't go bad and you end up saying,
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Instead, you're just having all sorts of fun. And,
What? What the fuck?
I don't have anything else to say, guys. I really don't. I'm so flabbergasted with that. And I'm so appreciative. Guys, you know I don't sit here and ask for it. I will never do that. Okay? I'm not one of these VTubers or whatever the hell you want to call it, or Twitch streamers or OF creators where constantly demanding money. Fuck all that noise. But when you guys send stuff in, I am beyond appreciative of everything you guys do. Okay? And I know where this money is going to be going. It's going to be building the new office downstairs. The area's been decided on. Originally, it was going to be a smaller space, but this ginormous green screen behind me actually clinched it. I can't put everything into a space that may be 18 feet long, but is only 6 feet wide. It's not going to fit. So anyway, thank you again so much, Chris. Enjoy New Year's, man, and enjoy watching the ball drop and getting the confetti and all that other fun stuff. Okay. Let me downshift back down here. Okay. You know what I got to do? I got to calm down with one of these. I don't even know what was going on in that one. All I know is for some reason, this thing, when I tried to get an image, it wouldn't go. And oh, yeah, sure. Now it's working. Ah, oh, crap. I swear. Just, oy. This thing is just pisses me off sometime. I just saw one. There it is. That's the one I wanted. All right. All right. Final thing in my notes, guys. Final thing in my notes before I go into the chat box and we go through here. The next thing I want to talk about is there's a lot of isekai. Yes, I do not have time to watch them, but I see a shit ton that are dropping. About maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I actually had somebody over and they wanted to finish watching the Reborn or Summon to Another World with Cooking Skill or something like that. They all have these really long titles. Like, seriously, how long of a title do you need? Just say, In Another World, got this. Done. You don't have to have all this like 3 freaking lines. Anyway, it occurred to me as I see a lot of stuff end up on my YouTube feed. I mean, I get a lot. I don't have time to watch them, but a lot of them show up. So I get to see the title and stuff like that. And a lot of them they're summoned or reborn, and they have the online shopping skill. In other words, they can buy from Amazon, from Cabela's, from, wherever you want. They can buy pretty much anything of modern stuff. But there's one item that they never fucking buy. You guys know what it is? Well, don't bother with chatting. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. It is, giggity giggity, giggity goo. Stick around. It's birth control. In particular, raincoats, latex, rubbers, condoms, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They never buy that. There's only been one single series, and it's a series I don't even like, that has ever covered that. Just one. And that was the series Gate, where the prostitute came in and she said, sell it to me. And she left with a bag that had a box full of the rubbers in it. I'm just like, It was either full of that or full of actual progesterone pills. But it's just, seriously, if you have the ability to sell that, you would make fucking bank, motherfucker. I mean, but of course, they wouldn't want to touch that with a 20-foot pole, because that would have to admit that human beings actually enjoy something like that. Shocker, we do. Some of us more than others. I mean, I know my girlfriends enjoyed it more than I did. Why? Because after about 45 minutes, I'm just doing push-ups. So anyways, it just blows my mind that they don't want to touch that, which is truly messed up considering what's happening in Japan right now. Right now, their, we'll just say progressive movement has gotten so bad. It's actually worse in South Korea and in China, but that's a whole nother conversation. But in Japan, it's gotten so bad that the prostitution market has gone through the motherfucking roof. I mean, just wow. Just holy flying monkey nuts. Wow. And it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And I thought it was bullshit until they actually had, of course, they had to translate it, the subtitle. And the guy did like a 7 or 8 minute video. Well, no, probably was 8 minutes because that was YouTube maximum. And he actually went through with a hidden camera in his glasses, and he's looking over and he's talking. It's all translated on it. Now, I know enough of Japanese to know that when they translated it, it's a little delayed, but the words are there. Not to mention the way we phrase it in America is almost the opposite of how they phrase it in the US. If you did a direct translation, it sounded like Yoda. Yes, it would. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And by the way, Leonid, how would anyone make those skills? They literally buy online and it magically appears. That's what happens with every single one of these, except for one where apparently, and I didn't get to actually read it because this was years ago. Apparently, the guy has the ability to create his own shopette, basically. And and I didn't get to see the whole thing, but apparently it levels up and he gets more and more stuff. I'm like, seriously, that's something that sells like crazy out of little shopettes. So anyway, we're going to be going into the other ones. Just a reminder, make sure that you guys are still subscribed. You would be amazed how many people have been removed. So anyways, back in here and a little bit of bang bang.
Op 4, last stop standing.
All right, that was brief. And we're going to start here with the Guardian Sage as he says,
"Greetings, mortals and other assorted beings."
That hurts the throat. I'm glad I don't have to do that in a darker voice or you guys would see me coughing for the next 30 seconds. Let's see. There's the floodlight. Oh, kids in the ship zombie. Okay, let me get to where I was writing stuff down. Kids in ship zombie. Okay. I'll see what I can do with that. Again, I have to finish up with, actually, I think I already pulled it off. I got to finish with Let's Make a Deal. And I want to get back into one of the other ones, in particular, Unwanted Species. And you guys keep bugging me for a few others. Again, it's all time, guys. It's all time. And like just yesterday, I had to take my dad out for a whole bunch of stuff and I lost a bunch of the morning. So it is what it is. Okay. Guardian saying Happy New Year's in about 5.5 hours. Well, it is New Year's Eve. So yeah. Yeah, I saw this, Douglas, with the Amish eggnog. Yes, they do make some unbelievably good food. Why is it so good? Because it's real. And that just reminds me of that old joke. Why do women masturbate with these two fingers? Because they're mine. Okay. Alan, what do you mean? Guess your post didn't matter. What? I don't know. I'm scrolling up. I see a bunch of Happy New Year's here, but I don't see any others. I don't know what. Maybe it's not showing up on mine. Let's see. War Sniper says, also sin in 4 hours and 27 minutes. I need to do my last mission for Christmas, and then I can start the bullet points of my realm. Its description also. Do you want me to enter the realm directly next to my dragon's home, or that the MC could have to walk a while? All I need is what he can see when he looks into, or specifics that you need to have on there. If, say, the portal, like it did before, the portal opened and you said, I messed it up, I want to get it right this time. What he's going to see, not only the dragons, like I know basically what the dragon is, but apparently I missed a few things. Let me know what I missed. And also what's behind him. And originally I thought he only had 3 wives, and now you're saying he's got like 50 now? And they're all with the fluffy, fluffy tail. You know what? I'm going to leave that one alone. But yeah, it's anything that he's going to be seeing at that point, as far as looking through the portal, that's what I need at this point. Not actually in. That's going to be later to be inside the area. But for right now, that's all I need. There's Guardian talking about Sabaton. Yes, it is a German band, and they also have sung a few of their songs in Polish. And I know very little Polish. In one, I know off the top of my head is Jak się masz, which is how you doing. And All the rest of it, I sound absolutely terrible, so I'm not even going to try it. But yeah, they are a Polish or a German band, and they do an excellent job. I'd love to see them in concert once, but the concert tickets are too fucking expensive for me. War Sniper again, if you want to be directly next to my dragon's home, you'll skip a few creatures and fun moments maybe. I'm not trying to mix that yet. I just need to know what's through what they see through the portal. Kind of important. Douglas says, it seems to be a major problem going into the big national parks. There are cryptids going around eating hikers and campers. There's also people getting close to the buffalo and everything else thinking, I'm just going to take a selfie. And all I could say is that bison is about 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of pissed off. You don't want to get close. I have seen what those things do to a full-size truck. It ain't pretty. If they want to, they will gore the truck apart and they will send it flying. They get a good running start and hit you on the side and T-bone. That truck will go weep right onto the roof. I mean, it is just crazy how much power is in those things. But people are still going to do it. You know, can't stop it. Let's see. But yeah, as far as cryptids go, maybe somebody summoned too many. It's possible. Or maybe the barriers between dimensions, the frequencies are breaking apart because of HARP and everything else. Who knows? Lena says, now I might just want to see the new chapters of that story again. Maybe chapter 17. That was chapter 17. You mean after chapter 17? Yeah. Well, like I said, it's going to be very dialogue heavy because a lot of stuff is built up and I need to downshift a little bit. Not to mention, as you know, winter is coming and they can't travel during winter. Every time there's a winter, they actually stop. They stop cold, no pun intended, because you can't travel in winter. I mean, if you try to, especially with that level of technology, winter would be saying,
congratulations, you played yourself.
And you'd be totally screwed. And I don't mean screwed like the one human who stayed with his slime girlfriend. Let's see. War Sniper says, I can send it this week and I want to know, full episodes, walking through a rare, teleporting into, okay. Just the, okay, I've gone through this already, just the front. I don't need pictures. Add just a quick description. I have the old photo or have the old drawings that you sent. I just need any extra descriptions that I screwed up the first time that I need to touch on. That's the important part. The stuff I have to hit. Okay, that's extremely important. Yeah, not moonshine. Actually, moonshine doesn't affect me. It burns like a son of a bitch, but I don't get drunk off moonshine. There's something in my body chemistry that just won't let me get drunk on moonshine. I'll get sick on it, but I won't get drunk. Let's see. Doug is saying, memories you bring up sin or on a vomit comment on Nate flying. Okay, here's what, because of that, okay, I got to put this out because a friend of mine just sent this to me and I just about fell off my chair. Just the visuals in my head. He said this, he told everybody this is going to be the very last time he ever has anything off the shelf as far as sweets. No Snickers, no Reese's, and definitely no Skittles because apparently somebody had handed him a bag of, normal bag of Skittles. But he had to go. He had to run. So he said he just ripped it open, dumped the whole thing down his mouth, chewed it real fast, forced it down, slammed a bunch of water behind it. But then, like he said, I forget how many he said, so many minutes later, he said that all that sugar was starting to rumble and boil and stuff like that. And he literally, for the only time in his life, has actually done the multicolored yawn. And all I could think of was that what do they call it, Kone Suba with the goddess or whatever. Whenever she pukes from drinking too much, she literally vomits rainbows. And it's just like, really? So yeah, I as soon as he said the multicolored yawn, I just like, oh God, I haven't heard that since the 80s. Okay, now I see something for the soundboard. Drill Sergeant Trixie. Hold on, let me put it down here. Sound board. Now, is this for you, Leonid, whenever you send something in? Drill Sergeant Trixie. I think I remember that one. Hey, man, you're pretty. Why don't we find some place to find a foxhole together? I think it's Johnny Bravo said something like that. Johnny Bravo was way ahead of its time. It was the 2.5 Men for Kids. And the thing is, he did get lucky every once in a while. I think only once or twice. And before I lose where I was going, I'm going to put this on.
The drill's under attack. Death machine on my...
Yeah, every time I see something like that, I keep thinking back to the wall, man, back to the wall, but don't put your back against the wall. Unless you get a hydration pack, but by then it's going to be so full of bullet holes by the time you're done, you're not going to know, but you're not going to be able to use it, that's for sure. Leonid here talking about let's make a deal. The shower scene was extremely awkward. Yes, it was supposed to be, because it was very awkward for the MC at that point. You know, the sir, he's trying not to allow himself to let loose because he knows that if he starts to let himself go and decides to, you know, just go whole hog on every single one, that he's going to have a house full of housemates, because that's kind of the way they operate. So he's got to, you know, he doesn't want to piss him off either. And the guy needed a shower. And that's why the whole thing of, you watched it, you saw something like this on the internet, didn't you? And of course they giggle, which is what most women do. And anyway, that's why it's one of the reasons why he got to just about his limit. And it's like, I got to go, and just friggin' took the fuck off. But yeah, after 30 days in the field, 30 days plus, it's time to get the fuck out of there. It's also nice to actually know that someone gives a shit enough that they want to actually scrub you down. And trust me, if you have ever come in from the field after a few weeks, wow. Multiple times I've come in from the field. The first thing you do is strip off your uniform. You throw it into a pile, usually inside the laundry bag. And you go to take a shower, and you feel a whole lot better, but you're just tired. You walk out, and it's like somebody put not just one, but about a half a dozen smelling salts up your nose, and every single one of them smells like total ass. Oh, better yet, hold on. That's what it smells like. It smells like ass. Just total ass. And you're just like, oh my God, is that how bad I smelled? Holy shit. You immediately cinch up the laundry bag, you push it all the way to the back of the closet, you even close the closet door, and you open the windows because it is rancid. It is so bad. And let's face it, if you're that bad, you just want a shower and a drink, and sleep. See, let's see, Erica's saying something about it's a brand local to Indiana. Okay, I missed something with you guys talking. Demon here, sorry. I know I said I would message everybody, but I forgot I had company come over and it slipped my mind. My bad. No, you're good. There's no worries on that one, Demon. If you're listening, no worries at all. Erica here says, I think that I have expanded, so you may want to check it out. It's expansive, but they use the reused glass bottles. So I'm missing something here. Down here with the Guardian Sage says, wearing power armor in Magic School. It's still ongoing and has 154 chapters. Currently released for free reading on Reddit and Royal Road. I guess it's first chapter per or one chapter per week, but it's on temporary hiatus until January 11th because of the holidays and the author having a beta reader before releasing. 150. I don't have that kind of time. Holy fuck. All because you remember I said about the rules of, hold on, let me get this cat's ass off of here. Like I said, the rules that you're going to have going into different dimensions, different planets or whatever, the magic's going to be different. Now, I still remember on the very first one, they said if you went in without power armor, the magic influx as it flowed into your body would literally make your insides explode, followed shortly by your outsides, exploding and spraying across the area like a giant fucking zit. So, yeah, that's what the armor is for, to make sure they don't freaking die. However, 150, wow, just wow. Just holy shit. I mean, could I do something familiar for 154 chapters? Yeah. Could I do, are we still human enough for that long? Maybe. Could I do, was it, they call us monsters. That one I could do for 154 chapters, but that every time I do that one, the subscriber count and the view count goes into the fucking toilet. I know you guys like that one, but I mean, it is what it is. I have to do what's best for the channel, and I don't mind trying new stuff to see how it works. Let's see. Guard says, I got a funny clip for you, Sin. That will have to wait until next week because it just happened. Well, good. Is it you screaming and moaning out there? And or is it the kind of clip you're talking about? Let's see. Lena says, that character is kind of hot, to be fair. Which one was he talking about? I missed it. Anyway, Gart says, the golem on Elden Ring just tried to impale my character's ass with his 20-foot long arrow, but missed him by that much and destroyed a pillar instead. Must have been blind as fuck because those guys take like 10 to 15 seconds to wind up and shoot their shot because how slow they are. And now I'm happy because apparently I got a $50 gift card as a Christmas present for my parents, and I used it to immediately buy the 1999 original Walking with Dinosaurs series. Oh, I remember that from a long time ago. Guardian says, I've only played one of the Fable games. If I remember, it was Fable Tree. But I do own a copy of the original Fable. Apparently, now I haven't played it. So I'm just going to say that according to critics, Fable used to be a really, really good game. A really good series. And again, this whole modern audiences trying to get a hold of a good series and just making you scream
God damn it!
about the whole thing, about they take what made it good and they twist it into something just not right. It makes me want to sit there and say,
of course you realize this means war.
And, you know, make my own game, but I don't know how to make my own game. But every time they try to bend this over and say like, oh no, we changed everything and now nobody's buying it. All I can say is,
Gotcha, bitch.
And we'll call it good. All right. Deathbed said, listening in window while playing phone game. Don't know if it affects the view count. I don't know either. I really don't know. I mean, I keep looking and asking, you know,
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
and it keeps varying so much. Let's see. And yes, that one there, along with
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
was requested by you guys, actually. Lena says, I don't remember the name of the game, but I've heard that games companies created a game nobody wants to play. Well, they made a lot, actually. There's entire videos right now of all the different games that came out over the year that nobody plays at all. It's like everybody got on Xbox Live or Live PlayStation, whatever the hell they got, and everybody just went, nah, I'm done. Erica says, I mean, well, there are masculine looking women. Yes, there are. They aren't dainty in build. No, they are not. Also, I don't mind a female being gender neutral looks, but there's something that lets people know that they are a woman. This one, it's not the body shape. It's not the shape of the face. It's long hair, but a lot of people have long hair. Just look at the guy from The Witcher. He's got long hair too. And apparently she's wearing a style of women's clothing, which honestly just looks like rich guys' clothing. I don't know. I really don't get it. I mean, just like any character, you have to humanize them at one point. So if you have a character like a tomboy character, even, and
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
something is right, because we have the Guardian Sage, which actually, Guardian, didn't you always? No, you didn't. Okay. And Guardian Sage says, the pace of wearing power armor in Magic School has it where even after 154 chapters, it's still a month after the female MC arrived at the school, but a ridiculous amount of things happening. Well, and by the way, Guardian, I don't think I have a button for you yet. You're going to have to let me know what you want. The fact that you didn't send one, well,
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
and you know, you're going to have to let me know. And hold on, I think somebody pulled in. Hold on, somebody's coming in. Who is that? Oh, that's right. That is our good buddy Brian Kemp, our big man on a bike, with a $50 super chat. And let me write you down here a little bit. As he says, was visiting my in-laws last week. Boy, does somebody need a drink. And Miss Syntax Live, belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Well, thank you extremely very much, Brian. Hey, thank you very much, Guardian. And I'm kind of wishing I had more liquor to toast you with. I kind of burned it out already. But it is what it is. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys being here tonight. You know, it is New Year's. Everybody's staying awake. And I'm glad you decided to stay awake with me. I don't know how long we're going to keep going tonight. But again, appreciate you. Seriously. You know, that's the thing back from the late 80s, early 90s is double tap on the chest and then the point. That's like, it hits, man. You know, we got to bring that back. Anyway, thanks again, Brian and Guardian and everybody else who sent in. Chris, Guard, Demon, Erica, and Doug, thank you very much. And let me, hold on. You know what? I'm going to put this on while I find out where the hell I was at. You know, I'm going to have to remember the whole Wendy, I can fly as he jumps up there whenever I do the compilation at the end of the month. Not this month, obviously. Going to be next month. All these are going to be there. It's going to be a pretty long compilation. I know that doesn't go over too well. But some people do enjoy it, and I try to make it funny, and we'll see how it goes. Guardians up here says, why do you think I hate Ben 10 Remake and Teen Titans Go? Teen Titans Go needs to go the fuck away. Seriously, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that, but it's dumb. The original Teen Titans, the only reason I watched it, because when you're deployed, you'll watch anything. And it was actually pretty good for what it was, especially when it actually took itself serious. That was a big, big deal. And one of my favorite scenes on that is when Raven actually goes after her dad, and her dad's like, "But I made you. I'm your father." She's like, "Father's kind, fathers protect you," and she friggin' basically not only slapped him, but came back with the other hand and bitch slapped him. It was great. Okay, Guard says, well, speaking about video games, the new game High Guard is already anticipated to be dead on arrival because, oh God, I can't even say this. They'll flag the stream. The baby of sweet something about it Incorporation is working on the game, the DEI game company that ruins every video. Yes, they do. Everything they touch, they literally have the opposite of the Midas touch. Instead of it turning to gold, everything turns to toxic waste shit. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't even say it wants to turn to shit, because you can use shit to build something else or to grow something else. No, it turns into toxic waste, actual like poison. It's just, oh, you just want to smack the crap out of them sometimes just for being stupid. Oi. Anyways, he continues with Teen Titans Go was okay for about 3 seasons. In the movie was decent. Their island special was pretty good, but after that, everything else is just garbage with the show. Yeah. They should have just kept with what they had and not tried to be more than what they are. Because at that point, you're dehumanizing the characters, and humanizing the characters actually makes it work. Just like the character I have that I made for the DC universe, which I might end up coming out this year. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, I had to humanize that character because I realized I didn't quite make him overpowered. It's the way he uses his abilities that make him very dangerous. That being said, again, mention his former wife and child, or I should say children, and the man will guzzle a fifth of moonshine, literally just upend it like they did in Animal House, where they hand him a bottle of Jack Daniels and he drank the whole bottle right there. He's like, thanks, I needed that. That's kind of the way he is. I mean, he's like, don't even talk to me about it. So anyways, Demon says, I hear good and bad about Avatar 3. I've seen the other 2, so I'll watch the third one, just not in theaters. The reason I want to watch it in theaters is because I want to actually see all the special effects and stuff the way it's supposed to be. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you lose something when it goes down to TV. Gar continues with what he was talking about there about Teen Titans. Says the jokes got more nasty and disgusting. The episodes got focused on how many times they can make a fart or shit or another shit joke before it became too much. And the Ben 10 remake was just a straight up middle finger to the entire franchise. Yeah. A lot of these are. I mean, look at a lot of people said that about Dragon's Balls when they tried to make a live action version of that. Me personally, I'm not a fan of Dragon's Balls. Okay. A lot of people will cradle Dragon's Balls and say it's the greatest thing in the world while they're basically shoving their face in it because they can't get enough of the Dragon's Balls. Me personally, it should have ended at the Cell saga and called done, but then they made the live action, which even I was like, this is terrible. You've got to be so drunk to enjoy this shit. It's crazy. But yeah, every time they make a live action, they tend to make it suck. Ahsoka's another one. Ahsoka was one of the best characters Star Wars had ever come up with, and they fucked up that character so bad. Oh, I can't even watch it. Every time somebody says, well, what do you think about this scene? I watch and I'm just like, no. Many, many times no. It just, no, absolutely not. Lena says, Teen Titans Go is watchable if you treat it as a parody. Well, I'd have to treat it as, something when I'm hammered. I actually know somebody who will watch that show, but he'll smoke like 3 or 4 doobies before he will, and he'll just enjoy the crap out of it. Because like Ron Williams said, warning on the label of any of this marijuana, warning, this will make cartoons awesome. And if you thought the Three Stooges were funny before, Guard continues with, it was a garbage remake of a show that didn't need to be remade, but could have, in fact, used a better sequel. Omniverse had its moments, but it wasn't that good. I should know. I grew up watching it. Yeah, it's kind of bad when they screw up something you grew up with. That being said, I appreciate them trying. Now, they've actually redone the He-Man. Now, I grew up with the original Masters of the Universe. It's one of the first shows I remember ever seeing. Okay. That being said, it was campy as all fuck, and we kind of knew it. It was still a kid's show. They remade it like 3 or 4 times, more adult, and it got better. However, when they decided to incorporate Baby Sweet or whatever the hell into this last one, holy crap, was it bad. Holy shitballs, was it bad. And they took a dump over things that have to happen. Okay, and now I wish I had a picture lined up, but the, I'll just throw this on the screen for it. You had the sorceress, the one who was always in her like bird costume, and she could transform into a bird whenever when she left, she always had to. That was kind of the whole thing when she became the sorceress. The sorceress is no longer human, not in the sense we understand. As long as she is within the walls of Castle Grayskull, she does not age. Suddenly, in that series, she's 50 fucking years old or something like that and weaker than shit. No, the longer she's there, the stronger she gets. She's just limited in range, which is also a major portion of Evil Lynn's character because her father has the same blessing / curse on him. He has amazing power, but he can only be contained within this certain area. And they fucked us up so bad. It's like they don't even give a shit. The only character they actually made worth a crap was Orko. They finally did him right. Where he's like, you know what? I'm gonna specifically stop fucking things up, and I'm just gonna put all my focus into this. And they did it. They did him right. They didn't do him dirty like they did all the rest. They kind of did Evil Lynn right because she was just there's a lot of psychological crap on that, but my God, the rest of them, they so fucked up. But then again, Mark Hamill was doing the voiceover for Skeletor, so I can assume they're going to fuck that up. He's a general fuck up now. I don't know what the hell happened in the past 10 years, but it's like he lost his goddamn mind. Anyways, Lena says, I do find it interesting that the U.S. military helped to create Avatar. I've heard that they like those movies. As for somebody who was inside the U.S. military, I can say it's okay. There's a lot of it that I'm sitting there going, what? No. That's not how that works. The exosuits were done well. They weren't done the way they're supposed to be, but they were done good enough for the movie. I will give it that. So if you have a machine that's moving off your movements on a foreign world, they did that well. The dual rotor aircraft that they had, the small ones, that's fine. Not a problem at all with that. However, all the other vehicles, I'm looking going, what? I mean, I could understand the automated construction equipment, yeah, but the rest, I'm just like, no. Just no. The only thing they got right as far as the U.S. military thing is a few of the guys they actually hired a bunch of former soldiers to do the movements, especially towards the end. And you can actually see by the way they do their boundings and setting up and things like that, that they actually have training. Aside from that, I can say I did not think anything good, military speaking. Especially when you had that big giant machine that they used to try and smoke out and shoot up the tree. That thing had 4 fucking prop. Something that big has to have at least 8. Because look what happened when you blew out one prop. The whole thing just tilted and crashed. You wouldn't want something that big, that slow, and that valuable to be so easily destroyed. Because all you really had to do was accidentally shoot one of the blue Smurfy cat's flying bat dragon things and have the body go into the props, bind it up for half a second. Suddenly it goes up like a fucking matchstick and down you go. You just lost a probably $3 billion piece of equipment because, oops, can't do that. Lena says, I would watch the isekai if it was interesting. I do prefer watching female leads because male leads could be boring. Most are. I will definitely say that because it's almost always a power, power fantasy. That being said, a lot of female leads in isekai end up as the same thing. They're either the underestimated MC, which that happens with guys too. They just end up going a different route. But it's more or less the same story, parallel stories on that. Or it turns out, oh, you didn't know they're the villain. Uh-oh. But they're a sympathetic villain. Uh-oh. Just like what's the punch lady who just goes around beating the shit out of people? I think that's an isekai too. Where she just like beats the hell out of everybody. Just like the oh shit, well, I don't even remember the name. Somebody sent me a link to the first 2 episodes, and I watched the first episode. I couldn't watch the second one, where this girl isekai, but she was supposed to be the villainess. So she went to dungeons. She just started clearing it, and she's maxed out at level 9999999. It's like she's German or something, and nobody can believe it until she just whoops everybody's ass right in front of all the rest of everybody. It's crazy. But she doesn't smile. But of course, how do you humanize her? Oh, she falls in love. I mean, that right there is the most typical. It's not that she realizes that she's doing wrong. It's not that she just wants to do good for other people. Is that a boy, some pretty boy shows her attention. Oh, I'm like, it should do this. Try the common man actually gives a crap about her for once, and then she changes. Then we'll see. So I'm just saying they use a lot of tropes on that one as well. And it's hard to get away from. Now, Lena does ask, how do you make the pills with the powers of isekai? If you're talking birth control pills, that's easy. These people, all they have to do is either throw money in it or collect different items into their storage box, and then they can trade that for items from their own world. And it magically appears. It's the same shit. So yeah, that's how you get it. It's just that simple. Let's see. Demon says, I started playing Outlast Trials. That's actually pretty fun. Okay, good. Wait, if they can finally make a game that's fun, awesome. He says, I don't think I could send you clips from it, though. It's definitely not a kid-friendly game. Oh, is it a little... Are you sitting there right now saying, giggity, giggity, giggity goo, stick around? Or perhaps you see a couple of those hot girls and say, swing, or something like that. Let's see. It's not kid-friendly game. Lots of gore, cursing, and full nudity. Something that finally a few people on this side of the Pacific are starting to realize people actually fucking want. I guarantee Demon's playing a game that's straight from Japan because they got no problems with that shit. Alan says, looking for the green dot at the name with A on it, in it. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about on that one. Let's see. Demon says, the developers describe the content like this. Game contain content not appropriate for all ages, or may not be appropriate for viewing at work. Frequent violence or gore. General mature content and nudity. It's up to 4 players though. Co-op. So enjoy. Yeah, it's that voice. Oddly enough, it may seem smooth. That one actually hurt a little. Okay, before I do too much, I am going to throw in another. What's this one? Yeah, I'm already thinking what phrases and stuff I'm going to throw in there. You know, unfortunately, the shot back at the one who almost tracked you is not enough time for, oh, you did not shoot that green shit at me. Before you actually shoot again. Anyways, Leon says, I thought I heard the anime reference in one of your chapters. It's possible. I like to throw a bunch of different stuff in there. So we'll see. There's actually one reference. Oh, there it is. Demon threw it in. I love the South Park reference in one of the story. Yes, it was half man, half bear, half pig. Yes. I was wondering if anybody was going to figure that one out. And I figured, it's been real serious. It's kind of dragging on. I need some levity. So boom, I threw that in there. And thankfully it was funny for you. Although I guarantee after they killed it, they're like, I'm not eating that shit. Just give me the magic stone. Rip. Let's see. War Sniper says, I will send you the bullet points of what species of women are in my dragon's harem. Okay, I guess. And how many there are of each species. And send you pictures of the realm to make it specific. And so far, there are 37 to 38 wives. Wow. Where at least 10 are kitsunes. Dude. I'm trying to remember the Arabian prince back in the day who had like 2,000 consorts or however in his harem. And it sounds like you're trying to take after him. Yeesh. I mean, seriously, that is a permanent drain on your system. You know what? I don't have anything. Shoot, I don't have any good buttons for that one. But yeah, think about that one. Drain on your system. Yeah, 37 to 38. How many times a day are you hearing? You're gonna call me again, right? Anyways. Demon's up here saying white chocolate Reese's are my personal favorite. Well, I haven't had a Reese's in probably a year. And wait a minute.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What that is another $10 super chat from the Guardian Sage. He says, War Sniper's dragon sounds a lot like the Guardian Sage with his many wives, but Guardian Sage usually doesn't have more than 3 to 5 at a time on any given world. So yes, all their powers combined, they are way more women than I can handle, that's for sure. I mean, seriously, it's like that, oh crap, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like, oh, it was an anime where they kept going to brothels and raiding people or rating the brothel itself as in 1 to 10, then giving their reviews. Yeah, it's because they had a scene on that one, with all the low level succubi just going crazy, and they're just like, we're gonna go in, we're gonna take them all down. No, you're not. So, anyways, thank you very much, Guardian. And let me scroll back up here. I don't know where the hell I was. All right. Let's see. And that is Guardian saying, I definitely remember seeing that gesture of tapping the chest twice when I was growing up. Never used it myself. It kind of went out of style. And now when you do that, people are sitting there thinking you're doing the Guardians of the Galaxy salute, which is total bullshit. Guardians of the Galaxy kind of burned itself out. I mean, it wasn't bad. I never got to see the last movie. The only part of the last movie I got to see was the hallway scene, because somebody overlaid it with the Madonna song, Like a Prayer. And yeah. Let's see. Lena says, I think I want Shroud to return in the second season of Dispatch. I see the potential. Now, here's the issue with that. At the end, did you choose to keep him alive or kill the bastard? I'm going to ask that again. Did you keep him alive or kill him? Because that's going to actually decide how that goes. And all honesty, like I said with Dispatch, that's my only issue, is that the endings were all pretty much the same. You're continuously on this linear path that you don't get to stray too far away from, and it all coalesces back in one spot. And I just, yeah, it just, we'll see how they do that. I know they're working on the second season. And speaking of Dispatch, I do have to go on a side route, and I tried to get something for like down a rabbit hole here on my soundboard. Nothing worked. I couldn't find anything that worked, but I'm going to go down this rabbit hole for a second. There was a big to-do online between Blazer and Invisigirl. Was it right the way they set it up when you had to do the choice between which one to date? And they showed that the numbers, the percentage, pulled very high towards the Invisible Girl and very little bit back to Blazer. Now, the actual writer of this story, and he also helped produce it, said specifically he screwed up and he should have actually showed Blazer in the limo sending the text message. Because when they actually put that side by side with folks, they actually put that scene in. I mean, it was a very rough cut. They noticed that everything evened back out. It got very down the middle. And I'm just like, yeah, the guy just admitted that he fucked up. Okay, anybody who wants to be better has to admit that they fuck up. Well, shocker. You still got people online who are bitching and moaning, saying, "Oh no, it's always been Invisigirl. It's always been her. You can't give favoritism to Blazer just because she was the first girl." Wow. I'm like, listen, your bias is fucking showing. If you want to be an actual reviewer, turn the goddamn bias off. That's all I'm asking. If you're gonna show the bias like that, even though you say you're non-biased, guess what? People are going to notice it. And guess what? People are going to stop fucking listening. Boy, I need to go to the gym. I'm getting fat. Okay. Anyways, that's the rabbit hole I want to go down to with Dispatch. Okay. It's the whole thing about people who have this bias against Blazer for I have no idea what reason. Maybe because they say she's the safe choice. She's not the safe choice. She's just the smart choice. The other one, you're literally worried that she's going to show up one day invisible and snip your balls off because she thinks you're cheating or something. It doesn't make sense. I mean, seriously, what the fuck? And they're both hot as friggin' lava, so I don't see the issue here. All right, back to the comments. Says Leonid's here. I have only heard people writing about two types of goblins, sexy goblins and trickster goblins. Are you talking? Well, that's with females, goblins in particular. There are other types of goblins. There's actually a multitude of different types of goblins to include. Hobgoblins is one of them. Mage goblins is another. Male goblins in particular have a lot more to go in than just these two. However, all the male goblins always fall into walking boner. And seriously, that's one of the things that makes them horrible. But a lot of times what you end up with the goblins, even I kind of sort of fell into this, which is why I threw in that whole twist about them screwing with their own DNA, is almost always when you read something, if there's female goblins, there's only female. If there's male goblins, there's only male. And they have to merge or breed with other species to actually procreate. I didn't want to fully do that. I wanted to throw kind of a curveball in there. So, I mean, like I said, they had males. They just ran out of them. And it is what it is. They had to improvise. But as far as female goblins, yes, usually sexy and or trickster goblins. Why? Because they can. Let's face it. You see a male goblin, first thing you're going to think is, I need to kill this thing. All right. Guard says, bringing back Teen Titans Go again, but it was kind of funny on how they literally ended the series by having them blow up a nuclear reactor, blowing the nuclear reactor to the base and destroying everything. And the only reason that happened is because for some stupid reason, it's hooked up to every other nuclear reactor around the world. So they all went off at once and destroyed everything. Wow. Game
over, man. It's game over.
Yeesh. And the only reason okay. Yeah. It continues on another part. It says, it wasn't even the baby of Sweet, and yes, I have to say it that way or else this video gets flagged, that made the last He-Man series suck. The guy who made this series played Silent Bob in several movies. I can't remember his name. Did it for The Message. Yeah, he did. And I know if it's because he lost the weight and lost his balls or what, but the guy is a dying-the-wool leftist. Apparently he's vegetarian now or vegan, where he's just sucking the soy and he's sucking something that may be shaped like a straw, but I don't think it's a straw. And yeah, Kevin something, I think, is the name. I mean, he did an okay job with Mallrats and Clerks, but after that, he just ran on that notoriety for a long, long time. And I can't remember anything good that he made. When he did Dogma, honestly, I wanted to walk up and kick him in the nuts with steel-toed boots because that was a horrible movie. I just want to kick him there and say, you can do better. Anyways, yeah, that guy, he's a dying-the-wool leftist. He will do whatever his corporate master tells him to. And if he has to do it for The Message so he can still, basically fiddle his own nutsack, then whatever. Lean is up here saying Teen Titans Go was self-aware of itself and knew it was making fun of itself. That's all I can say. That's all I can say about that. I don't know. I don't know. The only reason I even know it exists is because I have nephews and nieces who actually watched it when they were here. And when I first saw it, I was like, okay, they got the same voice actors. Is this okay? And I watched it for like 30 seconds and went, I'm leaving before I say something, because I'll turn into my dad when I was a kid. He used to make fun of every cartoon I was watching. Demon says, I'm so tired of them taking pre-existing lore and characters and changing it to be for modern audiences. I got to get a thing for that. You know what? Actually, let me try. Let me see if I got something here. Doing it for modern audiences. Hopefully that works. So now they are not straight, black transmissions, or I should say Decepticons, or no, they're Autobots because they're Transformers, whatever. As they make it up at the time, they don't care if you have characters that of that type. Just make it new ones and quit changing the ones we already love. Yeah, tell that to the freaking what was it, Disney and all that. What was it? Put a chick in it, make her gay and lame. You know, it's like, ugh. It's the same thing over and over. It's the same shit. And it's like they're destroying, they literally go in to destroy a good IP. They find something beautiful, something that's not theirs, and they want to destroy it, mainly out of jealousy. It's the same thing. They hired a bunch of people to work on Halo that don't like Halo. So they destroyed the series. They literally twisted everything wrong. They did everything dirty. Why? They're jealous, basically. And by the way, this is what the devil does. The devil will take anything beautiful. The devil wants to be the only thing that's considered beautiful, no matter how hideous they are. So anything that can be considered more beautiful is immediately turned into slop. That's it. It's just the way it is. Okay. Goose Fraba. He ends it here with and there's absolutely nothing wrong with beautiful women. No, there's nothing wrong with beautiful women. Absolutely nothing wrong with beautiful women. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, seriously, what is wrong with people? It's nothing wrong with that. I mean, seriously. No, especially since the fact that aesthetically, that's how we judge health. Yeah, they don't have to be manly. You're right. They don't. It's just, yeah, no problem with the rant. You brought me down a rabbit hole and I'm crawling my way back up. Let me see. Here's the sunlight here. So the guard says, I was so damn bad that people turned towards the 3D Kids series that was really simultaneously because it held out better. I'm missing something on that. I must have missed what you said before there, guard. Oh, the He-Man series. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's if you want to see actual 3D He-Man, look up Topular, I think is the name of it, or Yo Topular or something like that. He actually does a lot of jokes in Skeletor's voice, and he has a CGI Skeletor, well, multiple actually. Plus CGI Evil Lyn and, you know, CGI He-Man and stuff like that. Fair warning, it is dirty humor. A little bit of toilet humor in there too, but mostly just dirty humor. Lena says, I do like when the female character wants to role play the villainess, but they are failing hard at it and end up being a hero. Yeah, actually, that's another thing that the guys fall into as well. That's very much the guys fall into that. On that note, I need to pop the top on something. So where was I? Right about here. Now, one of the things I want to bring up here, but again, I had to grab a drink real quick, was the fact that, Leonid, when you're talking about them trying to be the villain or villainess and they end up being the hero, one of the mangas I used to read before I just didn't have time to read any was isekai'd as a evil villain in like a multi-star galaxy, something like that. Anyway, everything he does wanting to be evil makes everybody like him more. You know, he cuts the taxes so he doesn't go bankrupt. He doesn't want to die early, you know, so he insists on having robots around because he knows they're efficient. They're not going to be going for their own nefarious purposes. He keeps a few real people around because their skills are unbelievably good. You know, it's crazy. And, but again, that one falls into the same, I don't want to say it's a trope, but it does happen a lot. Not enough to be a trope, but it does happen a lot. And when it's done correctly, you're right, Leonid. It's just entertaining. He continues with, sometimes the female character just wants to survive because their role is a villainess with a bad ending. Yep. That almost every single one I've read or seen, it's the same thing. They're just trying not to die. And so they end up flipping the script and doing it. Demon says, Outlast is not a prawn game, but there is lack of clothing. It's a horror game. Okay. I'm going to write this down. Game Outlast. And I'll look it up. I like some of these horror games because sometimes they give me ideas. Certain types of games can actually help get the juices flowing. In particular, I'm not big in the horror genre because a lot of times it puts me to sleep. It's boring. It's the same shit over and over again. But the games, because they have more time, they can actually do a whole lot more. You'd be surprised some of the stuff that will actually help get the creative juices flowing. And yeah. Guard says, I still find it funny with a big huge for propeller aircraft because somebody made a video breaking down the videos and call it a flying war crime. The big huge, I'm guessing it's some people are complaining about the large aircraft and like War Thunder or stuff like that. It continues with, in his specific words, this machine is a war crime. Its existence itself. I don't care if the gravity is lower on that world or not. It could not physically support that machine no matter what. Oh, okay. The review on, okay. Yeah. Okay. I know which one you're talking about, Guard. And I actually watched that channel. And yes, he's actually right because I thought he was wrong and I did the numbers myself. And it honestly didn't take long to do the numbers. The amount of lift you get, even in a low gravity, high density planet or high density atmosphere like that on that planet, it's not enough to get that thing off the ground more than about 10 feet before it just doesn't have enough lift underneath it to get it any higher. Again, just add more props and it works. And it works. It's just that's what's so fucking hard? Oy. Lena says, sometimes the female isekai characters roleplay generally good villains, but that's rare. That's true. That's very true. It's the thing is, what they're doing is they're bringing modern day morals into that area, so they can't actually do the lack of morals that the original character would have done. So yeah. And here's Deathbed question with, yes, Al Gore's cryptid reference was funny. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And the thing is, I went through that same line like 4 or 5 times trying to get it right. Even before I recorded, I'm like, half man or half bear, which order I should be in. Half bear, half pig, half man. And then I would go through it again and again and again because I knew I had to get that one right because it's too well known. Let's see. Guard says, I'm really getting tired of the villainous as the MC trope because they're just becoming the same copy-paste characters. Yes. And that's the problem with a lot of these isekais is they're getting very cut and paste. Extremely so. And you know what it is? It's fucking laziness is what it drives me crazy because all they have to do is work on the actual planet they're on, work with what they have, but they don't build beyond the character. Everything's so focused on the character that everything just kind of flows into the character themselves exactly the way it has to by the same speed of everything else. Of course he's got to get his elf pussy waifu. I mean, it can't be any other species because for some reason the Japanese have some weird thing about elves. I don't know. Maybe they like the big ears for, I don't know, leverage. So anyways, but it's the same thing over and over again. But all you have to do is add extra factors, add extra people, add different technologies that you don't understand, add something, for crying out loud, something, anything to get out of the trope itself. And very few times have they done this. And when they do, it's great. It's a friggin' breakout hit. And they just got to be careful they don't end up in a rut at one point. Just like that cooking isekai one that's really big right now. A lot of the reviewers are, I don't even have to read the reviews. They're like, is this turning into a standard isekai? And I'm just like, oh, crap. I only get to see bits and pieces every once in a while. Usually him actually cooking. And yes, those are real recipes, by the way. I know because I made one the other day. Barbecue, in case you're wondering, barbecue pork short ribs. And I actually put it on a bed of steamed cabbage, which I really like cabbage. Smells terrible when you're cooking it, but my God, is it good. But yeah, a lot of these, it's not just the villainess, it's the male MCs for isekai are getting so standardized. It's sad. Joseph, is that what you're looking for? Sound effect? Let me find us. Joseph. Wash. Soundboard. Zombie. All right, I had to write that down because you get your sound effect if you actually send in a super chat, but I'll see what I can do about getting that one. Brains. Okay. See, the reason Lean is here says the reason I don't talk about level 9999999 anime is because I don't really like it. That kind of power fantasy doesn't work for me. Yeah, you're right. It's better to watch them go through the different trials and, to stumble and fall and fail on occasion. That's kind of the point. Or in some cases, do something that's going to shoot them in the ass later and they don't even realize it. Demon says the developer of Outcast Trails, Red Barrels, and Canadian independent video game studio based in Montreal, Canada. They are known for creating the Outlast horror game series. Okay. Well, I mean, let's face it. They're Canadian. What else they got to do? Especially this time of year. Let's see. Guard continuing with, if I see this correctly. Yeah, he's talking about the MC tropes. He says, fallen into a couple categories. Either A, they completely embrace their role as the villainess. Or they try to reject the role and become the good guy, only to fail repeatedly. Or C, they do a little bit of both and try to stay out of the light for attention. Yep. That's actually becoming more of a common one, trying to live a slow life. I've been seeing a lot of titles with that. And no matter what you do, no matter how many times you get out, they keep pulling you back in. And it's just whatever. Erica says, wasn't there a Chinese emperor at 1600 or with 1600 official wives and 1200 concubines? Yes, they actually made a movie with that where he took his, I believe it was his 4 eldest sons, and he divided his territory up so they wouldn't fight over it. But he kept a central section for himself so he could just live out the rest of his life. But he had his own army, his own concubines, and he had everything there. He also kept most of the money, which was the major problem. And they decided to assault his castle, which was pretty much the high point of the whole thing. And one of the main scenes there is where he's running up the stairs. The soldiers come in and they got like matchlock firearms, and the concubines actually throw themselves in front. And apparently that was a common thing with that Chinese emperor. He actually hid behind his concubines. Fucking pussy. All right. Demon says, don't get me wrong. I like women and could be fun to be with more than one if you know what I mean. I believe I have a button for that. And continues, but I do not think I could handle more than 2 ever. I know my limits. And even then, 2 is pushing it. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
You know why I know he can handle more than 2? Because there is a common number in that situation. And I know we're all thinking the more type things. And every single... Now, I've actually had to do research when I used to do commissioned work. And it always came out to there were certain numbers. With females, if they were looking to have, you know, the reverse harem type thing, it always came out to 5. You know, 1 for each hole and 1 for each hand. Am I lying? With guys, it was 3. That way you can lay on your back, do nothing. 1 down over 1 head, 1 over the other head, and the other one taking a break and making you a sandwich. So, yeah, I'm sure it could be more than 2, at least by 1. And you got to remember with the whole concubines and multiple spouses and stuff, back in the day, it was a status thing. I mean, it still kind of is and kind of not at the same time. It's looked more as kind of, yeah, cool dude, but not cool. Yeah. Brian says, a man has to know his limits. Dude, if you think you can't handle more than 2 women, might I suggest some tongue exercises? Turn into Gene Simmons. You're good. Lena says, my issue with Dispatch is that I know that heroes don't do killing. Maybe villains do, but not the heroes. See, as far as cartoon or comic book style heroes, I'll agree with that. To a point, you know. I'm more the anti-hero where you just kind of know that sometimes you don't have a choice. You want to save lives, good lives, then you might not have a choice. Just like when the Joker killed off killed off Lois Lane and she was pregnant. If you guys ever saw that, Superman just had it and he freaking just shoved his fist right through Joker's chest, grabbed his still beating heart, ripped it out and showed it to him. He's like, laugh now, asshole. Let's see. War Sniper sending something to Guardian says, my dragon is a person who lived before and there was where we now live. So he wanted every woman he liked of anime, and it has been a thing that his stamina and his life force regains faster than it can be depleted so far. So far. Okay. And he is not the horny one. His wives are horny. In other words, he puts off a resonance. He's basically a dragon version of an incubus, where they put off a certain, depending on which way you go off, a certain aroma, a certain frequency, a certain, as the French say, a certain, I don't know what. But he has the mojo, the right stuff. And, I just screwed up that joke, so whatever. But yeah, that's what you're telling me. There's something about his physiology that draws them in and just makes them, let's see. Anyway, let's change here. And, I'm going to throw on, where was I? This one.
The reactor's almost critical. Hold your ground.
I think I might have had that one on before. Lena's here saying, I know a few VTubers who dislike Blazer because she is a bad, manipulative boss that is flirting with Robert. I disagree. I disagree with that. I only say that because chances are these VTubers have had a woman break up with them and either immediately jumped on to a new P-Nice immediately or was already on said P-Nice beforehand. So they have their biases. I'm looking at it from the outside, completely on the outside looking in. Blazer, if you actually read the comics, she was going to break up with Phenomenon Man regardless. There's no manipulative there. Should she be dating her subordinate? No. However, the fact of the matter is there's no other person in her life that has a similar situation to her. They either have zero power and never will, or we're born with powers and we'll never know what it's like to be without them. She was born without the powers, and now she has that amulet that was drawn to her. So she, and again, like I said, the last time we brought this up, if you look when she depowers herself, she's in gym clothes. So she deliberately, just like Robert, she goes and trains before she gets the power up. Robert has the machine. The machine can do the work for him, but he trains. He goes to the gym. She does the same thing. She trains. She goes to the gym, but she does it depowered so she can get more out of it. You know, it's just the way it works. And because they're both people who are depowered until, for him, it's get in the suit. For her, it's put on the amulet. Then she knows that he's in the same boat and they have something in common. They both will understand each other more. So I don't think that's manipulative. I think that's someone who feels isolated and is looking for someone to relate to. That's all I see. Deathbed question here. And you know what? I don't have anything for Deathbed as far as buttons here. Well, no, I don't. So anyway, he says, Jim, I bought a recumbent stationary bike because I never get to my gym before work, and I work 7 days a week. It ain't work. It ain't work, but sequestration and schedules are what, yeah. Yeah, it's difficult for me. Right now, it's difficult because I always go to work, I go to the gym first thing in the morning. I'm usually there at like 5:30 when they open, roughly. However, the roads are so bad in my area right now that if I try to drive, I'll have to either drive at about 20 miles an hour, which will take me at least 3 times as long, and I still risk sliding off the roads around here because there's some going down on a curve. You hit that ice and you're going to destroy your vehicle, and I can't afford to risk it. It just doesn't work. That's why during the summer months I end up working out a whole lot more. SS Demon Goblin Slayer does not like this curveball. Goblin Slayer doesn't like anything except for slaying goblins. I went to show my nephew that for the first episode, and I realized he might not be ready for it. They don't actually show anything, but the implication is just enough that it's going to just fuck you up real bad. Demon says, I have an exercise bike in my house. I should use it more. My dad says he should buy one. I worry about that because I see that happening a lot, and at least in my family. As soon as they start getting an exercise bike, they never go outside. I'm like, please go outside and do something. Guardian says, I have listened to Weird Al Yankovic's I'm fat, I know it. Party in the CIA. Another one, Rides the Bus. I forgot about that one. And The Night Santa Went Crazy. God, I forgot about that. I was never really into Weird Al. I never really understood it so much. It's just not me. But hey, you enjoy what you want. Do not let me ever stop you from enjoying what you enjoy. Period. Let's see. Yeah, Demon saying, I love all those. Let's see. War Sniper says, YouTube is really dying. True, the weeks it freezes on me, and I have to spam the refresh button to fix it here in this stream. It's crashing and closing on me, and I think YouTube is ending. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't. We don't have any weather on this end, so I can't say it's my fault. I don't know. All I know is our next comment from Lena says, modern audiences. Game developers hate their gamer customers. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They don't. They're allergic to making money. I don't know what it is. Demon also says, I want a PAI to help in part 2 of Unknown Fleet, but it's way too OP to actually help. So I'm thinking of doing another PAI story to show off more of its story other than just hints of it, but I'm not sure yet. Hey, you do it the way you want. Don't want to say too much. I will answer whatever questions you send me, which if I remember to actually open up my emails. And he says, I have so many ideas, just not enough time to work on it. Fucking men, brother. Amen on that. Oh, I mean, seriously.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
I'm trying to get the video clips for those too, guys, but it seems like everybody wants like $50 for a video clip. And that one there, I checked, was like $80 for one. I'm like, really? They're like, oh yeah, you need a subscription to keep it. I'm like, fuck you. I'll find it somewhere else. Demon continues with, there are three Outlast games. 1 and 2 are single player, 3 is multiplayer. 1 and 2 are more story focused, obviously, but there is a story 4-3, but it's definitely more online game, and it's less scary than the other 2 games. Hold on. But it is still good and good enough to consider a sequel to the others. Okay, it must be that horror game you're talking about. Lena says, Hellsing is a very old anime at this point because it was released in 2001. But Hellsing Ultimate is its beta version in the anime. Yeah, Hellsing was really good back in the day. You want to see something funny? I'm trying to remember. It's like Hellsing, like deleted scenes or something like that. And somebody just took the scenes and did voiceovers in, like, kind of like I do with the game clips here. But they oh my God, they do such a good job. As I saw that and I was just laughing my ass off. They did one for Naruto too, which honestly I can have my fill of Naruto. Oof. It just turned into the same trope of turning him into God. Let's see. Demon says anime is good for that. One does well, and all others follow it instead of doing their own thing. Yep. Oh yeah, with the which one they're gonna screw? If it's not an elf, it's a cat girl. Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm amazed they were able to get away with this on YouTube. And again, this was another one. It came across as a message. They're like, dude, how did they get away with this? I'm like, what are you talking about? It was one of these got summoned, but he can order stuff from the modern world. And he ends up with 2 cat girls living in his house. They go to take a bath, and I kid you not, they may be covered in fur, but they're still buck-ass naked. And I'm just like, really? Is that how we're doing this as long as they're covered in fur? I mean, it's not a fur coat per se. I mean, it is, but it's not. It just, my brain hurts. Yeah. Oh, deathbed. You never heard that joke? Yeah. Why do elves have big ears? Leverage. That's an old joke. Shit. I still remember the first time I heard that, and that was when I was in college, which, by the way, financially speaking, was one of the worst decisions I ever fucking made. Actually, generally speaking, it's one of the worst decisions I ever fucking made. Yeah, you weren't watching the screen when I did that, Demon. So you got to take the two hands and go leverage every time you talk about that. Demon says, until I think of a better one, how about... Oh, hold on. Let me write this down. SS Demon. Slip space rupture. Detected. Okay. I got it written down. I'll see if I can. I should be able to find that one. That's pretty easy. For my audio cue, until I think of something better. Yeah, I think I can think of something better. If you don't know what I'm quoting there, the movie Roxanne, one of the only good rom-coms of the 1980s. I mean, it was just really, really good. If you don't, I'm trying to remember the name of the main character guy, but it's kind of a ripoff of a Shakespearean play because the guy's got a nose like this damn big, and but he's just, and he's a fireman. So yeah, if you watch that, you're gonna see back when comedy was truly classic and the comedians just kind of did what they had to do to make the character even better. And yes, it does have a naked Daryl Hannah on there because she was naked in everything, of course. You don't really get to see much at all unless you like pause it just the right time. Lena says, I really like the anime where the villainess that everyone knows is evil, but she is trying to change her public image. Okay. Hopefully you're not talking about Maleficent there, because that would just be, no, I'm sorry, not going to happen. Demon says, I understand the 9999999 power problem, but I was thankful it want another isekai. Oh, it wasn't another isekai. All right. We're getting close to the bottom here, so let me see if I can't throw another. Did you guys see this one yet?
Fucking cow!
Jeez, he went at that guy like an amphetamine-soaked circus monkey. Okay, Lena's up here says, I thought it was interesting because of that anime. People used gun revolvers with their swords. Okay. I don't see, well, that's the thing. Anime does have this weird thing. If they're going to allow you to have a firearm, it's almost always a revolver. It's never a semi-auto. I don't know why. They just have this weird thing about that. It's like they're allergic to reality. I'm like, I know you can cut a bullet with a katana, but do you have any idea the stress that puts on the blade? After one or two hits, that blade is completely useless. It will shatter. Demon says, I was talking relationships more than the bedroom thing. With all the talk of harems. Yes. Well, it's true. I mean, maybe you have some sister wives. Although, I maybe you guys can help me out on this. Okay? Because I would love to put this video up here. This was an old, I don't want to say old. It's probably late 90s TV show. And this guy is dating a girl. He's been dating for a while. You know, it follows him and her for the longest time. And he finally ends up at her place and her mother walks in. Now, her mother is I don't know if she's single mother or the father just wasn't around, but the guy looks at the mother's like, wait, huh? And then looks at the girl he's dating, is like, back, forth. What? I did it. Like, whoa, drop my headphones here. Anyways, he just goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They're like, what's wrong with you? He's like, wait a minute. I know that girls always end up looking like their mom. And of course, the girlfriend's like, is that a bad thing? Of course, the mother's expecting an insult. And he's like, oh my God, you have genetics like this? You mean after you have a kid, you're gonna look like this again? He ends up walking up next to the girlfriend, pulling her close, looking at the mother and go, you're going to have a lot of grandchildren. And I give the guy props, like deadpan face right to the camera when he said that too. It was just funny. But yeah, I really wish I knew what that was on. It was like a 1 season type show that was on, which is more's the pity. All right. Let's see. Erica says, Sin, if you ever do warrior women in warfare, please do it smart, where they fight together in groups of 3 to 5. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. No one ever fights a battle alone. Even in the exosuits, even if you're spread out that far, you're never alone. None of us are fucking Johnny Rambo. It doesn't work that way. Do you have any idea how many freaking trainees I literally had to smack that into? I had one idiot who thought he'd be smart, and he dove in front of a smoke grenade, literally putting the thing between his legs. I had to run up, grab him by his uniform, and drag him away. And he's like, what's going on, drill sergeant? What's going on? I said, look at your pants, you dumb son of a bitch. Those smoke grenades are fucking hot. And I'm like, congratulations, Johnny Rambo. You just cooked your nutsack. Now go change. And he took off running. I'm like, where's your battle buddy, you dumb son of a bitch? And I just looked at him and said, bang, you're dead. Lay down. You better go get him. Somebody better go get him. Then another person just runs by themselves. Bang, you're dead. You better get down. Oh, no. You never go by yourself. What the fuck? And it ends up being this whole platoon thing. Now they got to carry him back. And his friggin' twig and berries is kind of flopping out. And I don't even care anymore. I mean, I kind of got in a little bit of trouble on that one. They're like, you should have had him cover up. I said, I don't care. He was supposed to be wearing underwear. It's not my fault he burned his pants. But I mean, yeah, you're right. You never ever fight alone. It just doesn't happen. If you find yourself alone, you did something wrong, or something just went completely wrong. It is that way. And don't get me wrong, I have actually been in one situation where I got left behind by my entire fucking squad. I'll tell you what, you never will feel that helpless. Anyway. I'm sorry, bad memories. Anyway, War Sniper here says, yes, Sin, my dragon has dragon pheromones that ensnare women and make them desire. And gave the dragon, made the dragon, why the dragon takes in ones he likes and wants to stay in his own realm, not be chased. The dragon pheromone thing is from an anime too. Yeah, I heard about it, but I haven't seen it. I don't even know which series you're talking about. Maybe you'd have to tell me with dragon pheromones is this series. I don't know. Let's see. Lena says, Dispatch comic book are secondary material to the video game story, and they are kind of weird, to be perfect. Yeah, they are. They are very weird. However, they do add to the story. There's only 1 or 2 that don't work. In particular, the one with Shroud, when they said, oh, yeah, Shroud actually built the pulse. Now, if he didn't build the pulse, but he built the thing that it attaches to, that'd be something else. But the fact that he didn't just build a second one was a massive plot hole. However, when you look at Malevola and Sonar, you find out they have been friends. She doesn't fuck him, but she always eggs him on when he goes to fuck someone else. And in the comic book, he bangs a stripper while he transforms into a giant bat. She stops him from, paying for a hooker with his credit card, which was still the funniest line I've read in a long time, as she's dragging him out. And he's like, I got to complete the transaction. She's like, no, boners and credit cards don't mix. Let's go. Let's see. It showed the connection between Punch Up and Coop. That was really important. I didn't see anything about Golem or any that. Apparently, there's one with the Flamer guy And Waterboy, I don't know what the hell's going on with that shit. I didn't get to see that one. It is what it is. But I personally think it did add to the story. Let's see. Lena says, I thought that Robert's father was a bit of a jerk, and maybe Blazer was already bored with the phenomenon. No, Blazer was looking forward to a life with somebody, an actual marriage, an actual Earth type marriage, house, kids, that sort of thing. That's what she wanted. She wanted the family. That's what she still wants. She wants the family. And she wants somebody to relate to that. She wants somebody to relate to. Phenomenon Man is just, he wants to be the hero forever. That's his big shtick. He wants to always be the hero up until forever, until some sort of neutron star vaporizes all the known and unknown universes at the same time. That was his big speech. Like, and when he did that speech, she realized that it was going nowhere. And it actually showed in the comic books, that's when she broke up with him. And that's why he was confused. He's like, I thought everything was going well. And no, she didn't want what he wanted. It's the same reason why Catwoman and Batman, even though in several comics they hook up a lot, which actually ends up giving him his only daughter. Yeah, they never go together because they want two very separate things. They just don't mix as a couple. She figured it out and broke up with him. It is what it is. And yes, Robert's father was an asshole, just straight up an asshole. He tricked the Shroud guy, whatever his real name was, until he got what he wanted, and everybody else was like, "Oh man, you got to bring him in. He's going to give us all these extra stuff." He's like, "No, I got what I want. You guys can go fuck yourself." I'm like, whatever. Hey, you're supposed to feel bad that the guy died in the suit. And I don't. Sniper says, I'm going to sleep so it's faster day and can finish the Christmas event and can start on the bullet points. Okay. Demon says, Steam has the Outlast bundle of all 3 games on sale for $23. Normally to buy all 3 is $80. The bundle includes 2 discs. Okay, sale ends January 5th. Okay, so if you guys want the game, now's the time to get it. I would, but I don't even have time to play the games I got. So it is what it is. Lena says, yeah, I remember the Hellsing parody. Give he a cannon. She likes cannons. I'm missing something. Okay, Guardian says, if you can find it, the audio clip of Uncle Iroh saying, you are clearly outmatched. Okay. That's Iroh. Clearly outmatched. Okay. That shouldn't be too hard to find. And that's for Guardian. Okay. Because let's see, Guardian, did I have anything for you? Well, I had this one. For the Emperor! So I'll swap that one for the outmatched one then. Let's see. Or no, Guardian, that was... No, sorry, that was Guard. Sorry. God damn it. Oh, man, guys, sorry about that. My brain just fricasseed. I need a drink. Hold on. That was Guard's button. I will have to take this one out.
Of course, you realize this means war.
Because that's actually right next to it. That's the button right next to it. So I'll get that one. Let's see. Lena says, I made a protagonist of level 99999 anime into 12 to 15-year-old. Just let the guy grow up after the time skip. Okay. Let's see. Demon says, speaking of anime, I'm so tired of guns being almost useless in anime and fantasy. Bullets bounce off, but knife kills are just fine. It's bullshit. Or a stick. Yeah. It's just... They want to have this whole idea of like pre-World War II mentality where the blade is mightier than the bullet. I'm sorry, but no. You know, it's just like they showed on Deadpool where he's like, take your best shot, One-Eyed Willie, and he's trying to like block everything. Yeah, he blocks like one or two, maybe three, and then he's like, those bullets are super fast. And it's just, yeah, it. You are. Let me. Let me keep that one in the back of your head, Guardian. If I don't get this one, they clearly outmatched. Yeah. The thing is, the only ones I know is that you aren't worth the effort is just the only one I know is from Grumpy Old Men or Grumpy Old Men. Yeah. But the thing is, it's very low. The thing is, you can barely. I actually had it at one point. I cranked it up as high as it would go. You barely hear what the guy was saying. Let's see. Demon says that's why I love Anime Gate, even if it's a. What was that? JSDF? What is that? Jerk off the Defense Force love story? Yeah. And the thing is, they try to make fun of the U.S. the entire time. Everything they're using is U.S. military equipment. The M14s that they're using, M14A1s in particular, the 9mm Beretta that the main character carries, also U.S. military standard. The web gear that they're using, again, U.S. military standard. Cobra helicopters, Chinook helicopters, Humvees. The fucking tanks are the only thing that is not U.S. military, and that's a Chinese tank. Or sorry, not Chinese, it's Russian tank. And I'm just like, what in the ever-loving shitballs? And it's just, I mean, hell, even their artillery, 81mm mortars, we use those. And just, it annoys me. It's like, you know what? I'm done talking about that. Lena Sear says, I was talking about the most heretical last boss queen. She was either really cool or morally irredeemable. I'm amazed I actually said that word without choking. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like there has to be a complete split on there. There's no morally gray in the middle. Demon continues with the anime 999. The kid is actually choosing to stay and chill by choice. He stopped himself from aging so he could never forget the pain he went through the first episode. Okay, there's two ones where you're level 9999999. One is the young girl with black hair who never smiles. Oh, you're talking about the one. I've actually read the manga when it first came out. The manga is dark. Holy shit. I've only read one or two other mangas that were darker than this, but I mean, he like rips them to pieces slowly. The whole thing about the dog man guy, the first one he takes his revenge on, he doesn't just, make him pee himself scared. No, he slowly disembowels the guy and then has him reborn again so that all the monsters inside the labyrinth can slowly devour him over and over again. It's like, and he's got to die like 1,000,000 times before he's allowed to just die permanently. But yeah, he does stop himself from aging specifically so he doesn't forget what's going on. My worry is that I wonder how they're going to go when he takes that off. Is he just going to then start to age naturally, or is he going to jump to his current age? Because if that's the case, he would jump to his current age, which would probably be around, 16 to 19 years old. And then at that point, fuck it. Throw that son of a bitch back on your arm and start doing all those hot chicks. It's not like he's going to run out of them. I mean, he just has to pull a card, any card. Julie's here. He says, good evening and happy New Year's. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. Where is it? Shit.
Good evening and happy New Year's, sinners.
Good to see you, Julius. Let's see. Demon says, but I understand wanting to make him older. Yeah. All right, let me jump up here in the media assets and...
Last operator standing. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
Now, guard, on that last one you sent me, if you're in the doorway, block yourself on the doorway just a little bit, just so you're just peeking out past the doorway and stop. Because that's why you missed that second guy, is because you were moving too much. That almost cost you. Okay? It's called pie in the doorway. You go away from them a little bit, and you just turn the corner. You know, you can do it fairly quick. I'm sure you can do this really fast, but you know what I'm talking about. But as soon as you have them lined up like that, just literally just lay into them. You don't have to move unless they turn towards you. Then you can duck. Let's see. Where was I? War Sniper here says, is it from high school D&D, but it is one of the what if stories of like, what if someone had changed in the story, what would have happened then? There's always the what ifs. I actually did a whole series back in the day. People want me to do what ifs. Like, what if the Empire brought a Star Destroyer to Earth? Could they take the Earth? No. And it's one of the first videos I did with like actual video or with actual pictures coming in. I'm just like, are you drunk, high, or stupid? It doesn't work that way. Now, if they tried to just show up and, you know, destroy the planet, there's not much we could do about it except take down a couple of their battleships, but they'd still be able to take us down. Okay, Guards here says, with level 99 to 99 to 9 anime, the reason why is because he's using a spell that's keeping him at that age, can dispel that he can dispel whenever he wants. So once his revenge is done, he'll probably revert back. Yeah. Yeah. The only question is, does it, you know, send him to his actual current biological age, or does it just allow him to continue aging? That's the only question I have on that. Let's see. Joseph says, I always wonder how those characters feel after several resets. I think they did an entire series based on that. The reset, I'm trying to remember the name of the series. And it can be horrific. It can really fuck up your psyche. If everything you've done like 5 or 6 times means absolutely fuck all. You know, we'll see how it goes. Now, the thing is, if you know you're stuck in a time loop, that's where things can get really interesting. Because you can do all sorts of weird shit at one point. You can learn a whole bunch of stuff. You can just go full on Groundhog Day, learn 5 different instruments, 12 different languages. You're never going to get stronger or weaker. But you can just stretch that mind out to its absolute brink and just start waylaying into folks. And you can end up being the best fighter ever, stuff like this. It's crazy. Lena says, in Helsing, the police girl uses a massive 30 millimeter anti-tank cannon, and Alucard uses a 250 caliber hand cannon. The Casul and the Jackal. Yeah, I think it's 6 rounds in the magazine just because those shells are so big that he carries in the pistola. And he's got a second one, so he's got basically an ebony and ivory thing going. And he always does that weird stance with them before he starts. I don't understand that. Maybe that's just an anime thing. But yeah, Hellsing was a fun series. gruesome as hell and very twisted. But that's what made it good. Erica says, the thing about Japan getting taken to another world, the U.S. military personnel would be there too. Yeah, because Okinawa is part of it. And also there are bases on Japan. The only kicker is that there would be a very strong power shift is probably the best word I can say. Because the military personnel that were there, very few of them are actually combat troops. However, you're still going to need them to operate a lot of the U.S. military equipment. And the equipment that's there is enough to really fuck up Japan pretty good. Would it be enough to take it over, just what's on Japan? No. Maybe what's in Okinawa too, if you can get it there as well. Maybe. But honestly, there's just not enough there. They'd end up if they don't work together, they'll end up killing each other. And yeah, on that one is, I don't know what else to say on that one. Now, if the thing is, if they took Japan all the way down to Okinawa, like took that whole section, guess what's always in that area? At least one full aircraft carrier battle group. That's not something anybody wants to fuck with. And you just might catch a submarine or two in there too. You know, a nuclear submarine that can run pretty much forever as long as you know how to do the maintenance. It's crazy. So anyways, let's see. Erica's here. And she said, I don't know why this isn't brought up at all because we will be fighting alongside them. Yeah. You would have to work together because cooler heads would prevail at that point because you have to know what situation you're in. It's just that simple. But the thing is, you got to remember, a lot of these shows, especially anime, they love their drama. They love their drama. I can have enough of it. I have enough of it in my own life. I don't need to add any more. So yeah, just like how they showed, there's a whole bunch of clips online. Is what would happen if somebody with common sense was in a horror movie? And what's your favorite scary movie? Who the fuck are you? Click. Pring. I'm in the house. Where? And if you know how to clear a building, it's not easy to find them. Put a couple rounds in them. Call it good. And the thing is oh, hold on. I got another call. Hey, 911? Yeah. Yeah, I got an intruder at address, yada, yada. You might want to get here because by the time you do, one of us is going to be dead. Okay, see ya. Bye. Let's see. Oh, shit. Sorry, this thing jumped. This thing jumped hard. Okay. Demon says, because some still view the U.S. as evil for what happened in World War II. Yeah. So they like to make U.S. villains because they teach World War II history different than the rest of the world. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Very much so. They act like they did little to nothing wrong back then, and America dropped the sun on them twice for no real reason. So yeah, they don't like us. They like our money, that's for sure. Guard says, I'm actually actively reading a manga right now, and I'm loving it for the dark one you just mentioned. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's another one that's a full revenge tale that I don't know the title of it. All I know is they got some sort of female deity that is she wants the dick. Yeah, she kind of takes it. That one gets excessively dark and mean and gruesome and just kind of creepy and woohoo. Let's see. Demon jumping in for the same thing as before, as far as dropping the sun. It says the government lies us because we gave them stuff, but the country as a whole doesn't like us as much because they view the past like us to keep doing that today. Well, I can't say I blame them with all the nuisance streamers that have been going over there and causing so many problems that you actually have warning signs on the side of the fucking train that say no dancing or getting anybody, this is actually a quiet area, shut the fuck up and let people fall asleep on the subway like they're supposed to. Guard saying he's reading the manga, said, and all the hot maids he has, and the only ones that know what he looks like as an adult because they're the ones that have seen him when he doesn't have the spell on. Okay, so he does turn into his actual age. Okay, now that makes that answers the question. That means he still has a time limit to go by. Let's see. Alan says, okay, I'm gone. There are fireworks to do. So good night, all. Happy New Year. Yeah, I can actually hear some outside. It actually spooked me. I thought somebody was shooting. And I'll catch you later, Alan. Let's see. Lena says, well, that anime with Baccarina, hey, Baccarina, was very good. And then that anime with the girl who likes books was also, something of a bookworm. I'm sorry, but every time I think about that one, all I can think of the one scene where she finally just loses it at the Pope or the High Priest or whatever the hell. And somebody did a friggin' meme on that, and it said, good, let the hate flow through you. I was just like, yes, that fucking fits it so perfect. And then I stumbled across one, no kidding, somebody did that, and they put the voiceover of Palpatine on that. She's like going whole hog, and she's just about to kill the guy. I'm just like, oh. Doesn't make me want to watch it, but that was really good. The only other thing I saw about that was when they were reading the girl's mind and come to find out that the one priest that's supposed to be her friend, not her friend. He's just like all the rest. He's just using her. Okay, Guard says, got about 3 hours till New Year's. I would just be playing games and then when that's done, I'll just call it night because got to work tomorrow. See, that's the one good thing about being retired. I don't. Not unless I want to. Guard says, you know what? I do know what. I know who. I know when. I know who's on first. I know what's on second. I don't know who's on third. So that's a good question, Erica. The U.S. military assets on Japan would have been brought with them, which surprises me. In the one manga work, Japan does get teleported to another world. Like Japan and all of its islands get teleported to another world, but for some reason, there's no U.S. soldiers. Even though there's a base on every island on the mainland. Yep. Most of those are Navy, Air Force, and Marines. Most of the Navy and Air Force personnel are, again, they are not fighting men. And very few of the Marines that are there are more than emissary guard. You have the one base on Okinawa, which, again, is a decent amount, but without the ability to get them onto other islands, they're going to blow through all their resources fairly quick. So unless Japan just leaves them to starve, which, of course, that's not going to happen, because if they do that, then the folks on the mainland are going to get pissed off. And they're going to say, you know what? We're just going to take what we want. It's going to be a big shit show. But yeah, it's crazy that they refuse to actually show the reality on the ground. He also says, haven't seen the Navy yet in the manga. Yeah. And it's saying something because I'm currently caught up with the manga and they're trying to figure out how to reopen portals to their world after a bunch of extremists blew open the gate. I mean, they were going to seal the gate anyways because the gate was siphoning the very life force from the dimensions that it was connected to keep itself open. So they had to close it anyways. Okay. Let's see. Linus here says the second season of Anime Gate is based on the Japanese Navy. I don't really know how they went from all Army to the Navy for the second season Dude, I don't know what the fuck they're doing there. And it seems like everybody wants to throw shit in there into everything that shouldn't be there. Okay. And I'll give you a perfect example of don't fuck with what works. Okay. We had Band of Brothers, an absolutely epic miniseries. It followed the airborne soldiers, and it only followed the airborne soldiers, one particular unit. It followed them. Then you had the Pacific, where it didn't follow just one group. Now, did it follow the Marines? Sure. However, it followed different groups on different islands through different battles. Plus, it showed them during their off time, and who gives a fuck? Yeah, we know they drink. No shit. We know they're out there trying to fuck anything with 2 legs, a pussy, and a pulse. And by the way, nowadays, the pussy is optional. So, and hell, half the time the pulse is optional too. Regardless of that, yeah, we get that, but it just takes away from the series. And then you had Masters of the Air, where god damn did they fuck up. It's supposed to be about the bomber crews. Why in the ever-loving shit show is there 2 episodes dedicated to the fighter pilots? However, it can't be all the fighter pilots. No, it has to be a specific unit, which, by the way, I have nothing but respect for the actual fighter pilots of World War II. However, they have been pushed to the front on every single one of these movies and TV shows so much that it's now just preaching shit that we threw away years ago. Fuck. But I'm sitting there trying to watch something on bombers. I don't give a fuck about the fighters. I don't give a shit what the Marines do in their off time. Stop fucking with what works. And that's what they're doing here. They're throwing in the Navy in something that's supposed to be a Army-based story. And so, oh, but what if we add this? Oh, we can get more people watching. No, you won't. You'll actually alienate your original base. Duh. Goose fraba. And Demon saying, yeah, the same with the kaiju in Japan, always deals with it solo. The USA would 100% get involved in that. There's only one time I agree that they would not. And that was Godzilla -1. That was an excellent movie. It's just post-World War II. Everybody has war fatigue. Nobody wants to deal with anything, so they're saying, fuck it, you guys deal with it. That made sense. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. Okay, I just read that. Lena's here says, if the house is hidden, hiding places, then people in the horror movie would probably be there and armed with weapons. You would think so, but they never seem to have them. And besides, just like I do, every night I walk around the house. I lock all the doors. How the hell are you going to get in? These are deadbolts that can't be opened from the outside. You would literally have to kick the door in or break a window. You don't think that's going to wake me up? Bullshit. A mouse could fart downstairs. I wake up. Okay. Let's see. Lena's here said, I can't believe the Cautious Hero anime dropped that plot twist and they still didn't make a season 2. Honestly, season 2 would be the same jokes, just pushed further. And at least for me, I couldn't get through most of it because the jokes were just literally the same thing over and over and over again. But that's just me. If you enjoy it, Lena, by all means, let's hope they make a season 2 so you can enjoy it. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Blackfire. Quick question. Where would I be able to send a story for you to read? Go down into the box downstairs. I saw you looking, you meat gazer. Anyways, go down into the description. Oh, fuck, sorry. In the description, there's an email in there. It should have all the different areas where I post or used to post. And there's the actual email address. Okay. It's a Gmail address to send your stuff to. And just make sure it fits the channel So rom-coms, unless you're talking about some sort of fantasy or sci-fi, are completely out. Okay, it has to have a fantasy or sci-fi twist of some sort. It can do horror. We have done horror. This channel actually started as a horror channel, so yeah. I got away from that just because sci-fi more people wanted to hear. So yeah, as long as it fits, I will put it in there. Make sure that you have in your email your handle, so if it goes out, I will do the intro beforehand, or I'll be sitting there with my notes saying, before we get started, this story has been sent in by one of my subscribers, Blackfire, 3744. Find additional stories and whatever you want to send me, okay? And I'll put that. I always do that at the beginning and not the end, because that's when people sometimes just kind of click off at the end. Let's see. Demon says, Violet Evergarden is my personal favorite anime of all time. I own all of it, 2 movies included. It makes me cry every time I watch it. I find it weird that an emotional one is my favorite, but it's just so good. I have never seen it. So I'll take your word for it. Let's see. Demon also saying, sending a modern navy to the past sure would be one way to OP until they run out of supplies in desperate need for maintenance. Yeah, then it's dead in the water. Dead in the water really depends on which boat. Okay. If you're looking at anything nuclear powered, that thing's going to run for the next 10,000 fucking years. You know, aircraft carriers, submarines, that sort of thing. Very few nuclear powered destroyers. We do have them. They're extremely sparse. I do not know of any frigates that are nuclear powered. So you're right. You would have to just get it next to an island, anchor it, and figure out a way to get back to it. I will say there was a manga back in the day. I don't even know if they're still doing it, where the guy, his special ability was summoning boats. And it was actually kind of interesting because this guy's like, you know what? I have this shitty ability. What can I do with it? And it was actually fairly smart. I only saw read the first manga. So again, I don't know if they're dealing with it. However, Demon, you are right. Most of them would be dead in the water. Very little you could do with an aircraft carrier at that point. A submarine, oddly enough, would be a better choice. However, once you get the raw materials, these guys are not stupid. They know exactly what they need to do to refine whatever type of crude they can get their grubby little mitts on. Although, of course, they're going to make most of it in alcohol first, but whatever. Guard saying, wait, I haven't seen the end of it. What happened? Anyways, Lena says, wow. Baccarina, I'm probably butchering this. Baccarina and Catherine Claus from the villainous anime where all routes lead to doom. All routes lead to doom. Okay. See, Demon says, remember, Sin, check your emails. I hope to get your answer soon. Okay. I'm really bad at answering emails. You guys know that. I apologize for that. Sometimes I'll forget I even have an email. I got, excuse me. Currently I have 3. At one point I had 5 different emails going at the same time. Let's see, Tekkaman Rage says, Happy New Year, everybody. Let's slam the pedal to the floor and put this year in the rear view. Yeah, but hey, 2026 is looking to be really weird. I just hope, I so pray so much that we finally get some of the hidden technologies so that we can finally put a lot of this bullshit behind us. And I'm sure you guys have heard of the quote unquote med bed. If you don't know what that is, think that movie Elysium, where they used all sorts of frequencies of sound, light, and an actual frequency resonator to fix everything after your body gets scanned. Well, here's the thing. If somebody says, well, they don't have the technology to scan you, bullshit, they don't. I know for a fact because I've actually seen one of these scanners before. It's not that hard to do. They scan your entire body, and all they have to do is look at certain points or look for certain factors that will come out like that. And it's crazy. I mean, it's one of those things. We have the technology, yet we're not allowed to have it. But when we do, you're going to see a massive change because one of the major things is the pharmaceutical industry will do anything to make sure that technology does not make it to the public. Demon says, Violet was published in Kyoto Animation in 2015 and 2020, following a former child soldier who becomes an auto memory doll to understand human emotions, particularly the meaning of I love you. Why is it? I kind of remember something like that as an anime back in the day, but I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Lena says, U.S. military has a strange problem with frigates because they don't know how to make them cheaper. Well, yeah, but they also make them rugged as fuck. We're actually known as frigates that are almost impossible to sink. Unless you literally break the damn thing in half, you can't sink the motherfucker. I mean, they're just unbelievably redundant. And, yeah. I mean, you look at... I don't know if you guys ever watched Fat Electrician when everything was proportional against the Iranian Navy. I mean, one missile each, they put every single one of the Iranian frigates out of commission. 3 of them permanently, one of them only temporarily. But still, it's just crazy. Ours, I mean, you look at the Lafay. That was a frigate, and I mean, how many times did it get hit by kamikazes and direct hits and everything like that? It was still up and running. I mean, it is a badass motherfucking ship. I give the crew lots of props, but that ship was very sturdily built. They do not fuck around when it comes to America's boats, I'll tell you that much. Demon says, it's also one of the last works done by many of the staff because they were killed in a terror attack while working. Oh, shit. Really? On this auto memory doll, huh? I didn't know about that. Man, talk about toxic work environment. Guard back to this other point. He says, the one point the U.S. military gave out the suggestion to make frigates pretty much the ultimate anti-air boats. Yeah. Actually, most of our missile frigates are going to overtake the Aegis Destroyer. And the Aegis Destroyer is no fucking joke, man. That thing's got like 600 missiles on it. It's absolutely crazy. And the new missile frigates are supposed to have like 1,600. It's just crazy. I mean, the thing is literally just stacked from one side to the other with VLS cells. I mean, it's just crazy front to back. And if they wanted to, they could hit like 100 different targets without a problem. 200, it might get a little iffy. Blackfire says, the movie Final Countdown is the biggest tease for modern day carriers sent back to before the attack of Pearl Harbor. Yes, I've seen it. Just as they were about to repel the Japanese attack, they were sent back. The attack was in night, and all I could think of, that was an anime ending. That's what that was. That was a giant build up for a giant nothing burger. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Everybody makes it home. Everybody's happy. Everybody's this, all that. Let's see. Guard says, in their crackpot idea was just giving them one gun to defend themselves with, but having to chase 12 anti-air batteries around the entire ship to give them 360-degree and complete and total coverage. Yeah, I guess that works. Demon's saying it was okay, he's talking the terrorist attack here. He says it was reported that 34 people had been killed before 2 more later died at the hospital. Oof. That's just harsh, bleeding out like that. Not that I've seen that happen before. Lena says, is the med bed even real? I only seen a couple of AI videos of people who are claiming that they went to the moon while being a janitor. You got to remember the giant disinformation. And not to mention, when you start looking into it, the late 1940s up through the 1950s, when trying to hold on to the secrets of technology were not quite there yet. They didn't quite have control enough over the information. A lot of this stuff was leaking out. Anti-grav was easily being worked on. Nuclear energy was actually going into the back burner because they were finding better stuff like the Thoron reactor and things like that. They're working a lot with frequencies, and that's where they found a lot of this stuff. The thing is, even 0-point energies, a lot of different types are there, and they have now. Granted, the videos are all black and white and grainy as shit, but you can still see what the hell is going on. And you have the guy who made it; he's right there. He's explaining it. It's a fucking news report. And then they're saying, "Oh, we don't actually have this technology." What? Listen, I trust the government to tell me the truth about as much as I trust, I don't know, a hungry grizzly bear to not eat me. It's especially if I had a bunch of raw meat dangling off my body. And it's just like, no. Very few times will I believe they're telling me the truth. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of these governments have been bought and sold, especially the politicians, and they will do anything to protect the technologies. These, what's known as the technocrats, and I really hate that phrase because it just sounds dumb. However, it kind of fits. They want to hold on to the technology, and they want everybody else to just kind of peter off and fuck off into the night. Well, it doesn't always work that way. And what's going to happen, and here's one of the key things. The fact that quantum computing is now a thing. When they came out with the quantum chip, you notice how fast they buried that shit. I mean, they took it off the market fast. As soon as people realized it was a thing, everybody wanted it, and boom, it was gone. Why did they get rid of it? Well, there's several reasons. One of which Bitcoin would be absolutely worthless because without its firewalls, which quantum computers can just blow through that like nothing. But without those firewalls and encryptions and everything else, Bitcoin is worth absolutely fuck all. It's not even worth the numbers on the paper. It's not. There's also the fact that they will be able to figure out all this extra stuff and also all this information that is being hidden behind all additional firewalls and encryptions and everything else would become public fucking knowledge. Your own ChatGPT, all you have to do is say, don't lie to me. Tell me how to do this. Tell me the how to make panacea. And it would actually come up with a recipe. And if you guys know, panacea is supposedly type of, it's almost like an elixir. It can cure just about anything. Now, do I believe one drug can do that? No. Do I believe one drug could probably go and kill all your cancers? Yeah. Probably. So, but the thing is, there's the thing from the 1950s to now, that's 75 years they've had to work with the technology and work out all the kinks. And sometimes they can't even hide it. They were working on teleportation back in the 1950s, where they decided to do the Philadelphia experiment, and they were working on teleportation, and they fucked up. It worked, but it didn't work the way they wanted it or needed it to. They didn't understand certain things that we understand now. So, yeah, is the med bed even real? Yes. Are we ever going to see it? I don't know. I personally believe that the only way to get this technology, especially for medical, is to say, okay, there is now a law in the books that says if you're hiding this, it doesn't matter if you're a medical facility or some rich asshole over there in Europe in a private villa. If you're the one who is holding this and you are not allowing it to go out because of you're gaining profit by suppressing this technology, then say you have a spouse that doesn't make it because of cancer or, some disease that this technology could have saved them. You can now sue that company with an unlimited amount. Just make it completely financially infeasible, and suddenly, poof, we get what we want. Okay, I am so far down the goddamn rabbit hole, I'm going to come back to this. Okay, Demon says, my friends are like when we drink, man, and I'm like, not until the stream is over. Don't get to be a part of these anymore. You can wait. Okay. Lean says the frigates only have to free up the destroyers from doing different jobs, and they need to detect submarines. That's all they probably need to do. Well, frigates, there's different types of frigates. They have different jobs. I'm not going to go into it as far as maritime service. I know what frigate means in science fiction. So, but it doesn't go over from one to the other the same way. Gart says, damn, this is probably the longest stream yet. It's 9:30. Is it? Yeah, no shit, it is. Okay. We're probably not going to be on too long because without that rant, I already got to the bottom. Let's see. Demon says, I know once spaceships are a thing, people will say Navy ships won't be needed anymore. Bullshit. But I feel like they would still be used. They would very much still be useful. You still have to transport things across water, and you still have to protect your maritime. All right. Not to mention, one of the stories that I heard a long time ago was the most dangerous is something like human battleships are so dangerous, don't land on Earth. Because every single time somebody tries to land, they try to land by shoreline. And because battleships constantly are moving across the water, they're almost impossible to hit. They got all these anti-air defenses, so you can't shoot them or you can't hit them with ballistics. They end up turning their big guns and they fly towards you. And there's no stopping those things when they're on their way, unless you got some sort of gigantic magnetic repulsor. But if you do that, you're going to repulse your own ship into pieces. So yeah. Let's see. But once spaceships become common, you will see a very big change in the way societies are. And one of the major things is you're going to see a lot of military shit change because it'll be wrapped around that, because getting people on the ground as fast as possible to do maximum damage is exactly what they're going to be doing. And you guys know it's going to be basically Starship Troopers 2.0. Let's see. Blackfire says, I never understood how cryptocurrency is supposed to be worth anything. It's really not. As far as I'm concerned, it's a fake currency beyond fake. I'm sure somebody's going to say it's worth this, it's worth that. Some people say one Bitcoin is worth like $60,000. Somebody tried to hand me a Bitcoin. I look at it and go, what the fuck is that? It's a Bitcoin. It's worth this much. Not to me. And if things keep going the way they're going, the currencies around the world ain't going to be worth dog shit. And that's why in this household over here, we ask this one question. Would you shoot somebody over a tomato? And usually when you ask that question, immediately the answer is no. But we ask, what happens when that tomato is the difference between life and death for your children? Are you still going to shoot somebody over a tomato? And that's a very, very hard thing for people to answer. Because I'll tell you what, when it comes down to survival, you can take all your moral lessons and blow them right out your ass. I mean, clean throughout, all the way out your ass. Because survival is survival is survival, and the laws of the jungle apply, and it's not nice at all. Anyway, Demons here. All I know is in 2011, I could have bought $100 worth of Bitcoin, and I would be retired right now. Sadly, hindsight is 2020 or 2026. But now, what I could have known, Bitcoin was 50 cents a coin back then, or 30 cents a coin back then. Yep. I look at it too. I remember seeing stuff for it, and it's basically like God was trying to tell me something like right in my face, but I was too stupid to understand what he was saying. Just like Amazon. I still remember looking at that and seeing that they were all starting to do like stock portfolios, and it was actually less than 30 cents a share. And it's the same thing. I would have been more than retired. I'd be sitting so goddamn pretty, it's not even funny. So anyways, yeah, hindsight's 2020. Who knows? Maybe all of us here are going to wake up tomorrow. It's going to be 1984 or whenever you were, say, 4 or 5 years old, and you can start over again. By the way, if that happens, don't do anything too crazy, because guess what? Give it away that you came back and, well, you're either going to be locked in a cage somewhere, or you're very dead because someone's going to end you. I've done a couple time travel ones like that, and it's always trying to be as subtle as possible until you get everything set up, and then you can be out in the open. All right. Lena says, frequencies are only compatible with the human body. I feel like some frequencies could be considered to be extremely dangerous, that the humans would never adapt to it. Yeah. All technology is a double-edged sword. Pure and simple. You're not far off, but there are so few frequencies that cause damage like that, Leonid, that it's not even worth worrying about. Not to mention, they're so far off the ones that people use to heal you that it's crazy. Actually, Tesla said he found a frequency that just works with the human body, not only for fighting off disease, infection, and stuff like that, but also helps regenerate. That being said, he was in the process of building a frequency resonator that would work with this frequency at high enough levels that would actually help. He was disappeared before that. Let's see. Demon says that's 333.33 Bitcoins, and its high price, I think, was 126,000 per coin. So that would be $42 million if it bought it and held it until then. But again, hindsight is 2026. Lean says, I feel like after 10 years of live streaming, any TV show could get woke eventually because the creators will go stir crazy. Sort of. The problem with TV shows is they are dragged out for the money, and sometimes that I'll give you an example. On the show Friends, they had the Ross and Rachel on again, off again, 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 so much it got to the point where I didn't even care about those two characters. I really didn't. By the end, when they finally got together, I'm like, who gives a shit? Who cares? It was more interesting to watch the Joey and Phoebe characters, who were basically the two side characters of everything, because honestly, all the other stuff was just over and over and over again, the same shit over and over and over again. The only relationship that was actually worth watching was the Chandler and Monica one, eventually, when they got together, because they were trying to hide it from everybody, which was kind of funny. Not to mention the guy who played Chandler was just a funny motherfucker. He was just good. But you can always tell, by the way, when he was drinking beer, he got fat. When he started doing the drugs, he got skinny. And a lot of these shows kind of forget where they come from, too. Demon says, one last reminder to check your email, Sin. I'll check my emails. Let's see. Demon also says, Happy New Year, everybody. Glad I could be here tonight. We'll miss you doing this again. And I know everybody else is going to miss you too. Now, I've actually burned through all the videos I got here. All, was it 3, 9, 12? Yeah, 12 of them. So, last roll call for everybody before we end up, because we've been going on for 3 hours plus and my voice is starting to go on me. So, or I should say, but I'm just gonna leave it here. It says, oh, Blackfire says, fun fact, Monica's hairdo came from the show hairstylist creating it while drunk off her ass. Hey, it's amazing how many things are off the cuff, completely ad-libbed, and they become lines you don't forget. Just like
Game over, man. It's game over.
that was the actor pulled that one out. And I'm walking here. Yeah, that one was ad-lib too. You know, there's just a lot of them that just kind of fit the role. Oh, so he couldn't remember how he did it for the next time. Okay. That was that's fun. That's probably why they changed her hair like 4 times. Anyway, guys, like I said, final roll call, and makes me wonder
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
And by the way, I could not get the one that with the whole yo, every single sound effect, cut that off. I was like, you bastards. Because if I had that, then I could immediately go to this one.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
But I'm not going to use, I only got so many buttons here and they're all filled up. I'm not burning 3 for just one thing. However, if I find the yo, I'm going to actually condense them all into just one button. So it just runs through all of it. And Guardian saying, Happy New Year. Good night, all. See you next year. Yep. Ain't going to be too long for next year. And okay. Since looks like we're just rounding off here. And there's Erica, Miss anyways, yes, I had to cut that to 5 seconds so we don't get tagged. And all right, everybody. Final safety brief of this year. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, feel free to beat their ass. It is better to explain to the cops why you just broke your buddy's nose than to explain to their spouse why they broke their neck. If your little soldier is going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. Being drunk doesn't matter. And by the way, if it's in your wallet, it's not going to help unless it's on your junk. So again, it gets wet inside the bush, at least if you know what you're doing. Aside from that, guys, please do me a favor and stay away from the heavier shit, because that stuff will just mess you up worse than you ever want to know. I have seen it really, really tank some people really fucking bad. It's not cool. And final thing, remember, it is still winter. It's still going to be icy on the roads. So be very, very careful. Be very, very careful which wine to get home. So, yeah. And I want to see you guys all next year right here on Syntax Live. And I'm going to be going out. Hey, Cartman, help me out on this one.
Scream!